It's day number 1 in the first test match between South Africa and Australia. First test match of 3. We come to you live from Supersport Park.
Graham Smith has won the toss.
Mark, we're going to have a bowl. Very undecided this morning of what the right thing to do is, but we've had good success bowling first year, and the stats have weighed heavily in that, so we feel that it's a good opportunity for us to put Australia under pressure.
Right, that's an interesting decision from Graham. Can we ask what you might have done?
I was going to bat first, Mark. I think the wicket will have a little bit in it up until lunch, there's no doubt about it. Looks like it's got a bit of grass on it, but I think that's going to be there throughout the 5 days. So in saying that, we have to come out and bat well.
You've got some exciting team news.
What's that?
Well, a man makes his debut.
Yeah, of course. Alex Doolan gets an opportunity. He'll be batting 3 for us, and obviously Sean Marshall comes into the team as well. So really exciting to have those 2 guys back. Unfortunate that Shane Watson's injured, but our team's prepared well and we're ready to go.
Normally you bat first in a test match, but as Michael Holding has said, this surface has got a lot of grass on it. There's thick matted grass there as well, so the bowlers should get plenty of help during the first session.
Conditions are absolutely superb for cricket. And they're vocal already, the South Africans. Smith starting with basically 4 slips. Hashimamla is the wider of the 4th. Here we go, Steyn, first ball. And a bit of movement.
Mike, we were saying that Steyn has 36 wickets at this venue. He has only played 6 test matches. That's a lot of wickets in 6 test matches.
So impressive, Dale Steyn, how he goes about his business. Sometimes bowls within himself, but he knows exactly when to up the tempo. Picks the right moments.
Steyn again, charging in. This time to Warner. And he plays that beautifully. That's a nice punch down the ground for 4. That's a good way to start.
Oh, it's just about perfect from David Warner. It was his very first delivery. It was full, it swung back into him. He played it nice and late under his eyes, and his timing was spot on.
Through the covers this time. That's a good shot. Again, it's not a flourish from Warner, but he's got a good solid bat on that for 4. So that's a second boundary off the over, and that's a good start for the aggressive opener. 9 for none. That's a beauty. That's an absolute beauty. The South Africans think it's out. There's a shake of the head from Richard Ellingworth. He says not out. Graham Smith is now having a chat to AB de Villiers. They've got a clock on this. They need to act pretty quickly if they're going to send it upstairs. They've decided they're not going to send it upstairs. But what a magnificent delivery.
Big sound, but I'm not too sure it was a woody sound. I think that's why the batsman wasn't all that perturbed. This will tell us something. The back leg. Hitting the back leg on the way through to AB de Villiers. Hot spot shows you there.
And what a very good decision from Richard Ellingworth. The South Africans are up straight away. Chucked it on, got an edge, looking to play a shot, and a ball that wasn't there. That's the way Steyn operates. It's the way Warner operates as well. This time it's Steyn, the winner.
Dawson gets a breakthrough, as he so often does. David Warner, his patience just wearing a little bit thin too early. Tried to play this ball very square of the wicket on the offside. Too close to the body, off that inside edge and onto the stumps. So South Africa get the breakthrough.
So Warner on his way for a dozen. The first breakthrough is there. 15 for 1 it is.
Not an easy place to play your first test match. So this will offer a significant challenge for Alex Doolan. 54 first-class matches, an average of 37, 6 centuries. And this number 3 position is a key one.
Yeah, he would have been told a couple of days ago, I guess, that he was going to be starting. Shane Watson was looking to play around the number 6 area, so it's something they would have identified some time out, I suppose. And now he's out there in the middle. Steyn has picked up the first wicket. really is a big wicket, that of Warner. We know that he can be extremely dangerous. He'll step it up now, Steyn. He'll love bowling to the right-hander as well.
This is a big wicket. Thought that David Warner would go out there and play his normal game, and he certainly played a few shots. Just have a look at that though. That's a bit close to be cutting away. And you can see him losing one of the hands off the bat hand. The bottom hand comes off because it's a little bit too straight, cramping him a bit. But that's the early wicket that South Africa would have wanted.
Yeah, and you get the feeling also that when you're facing someone like Dale Steyn, you're not going to get too many balls to cut. That's why it's such a class act. So perhaps a little bit predetermined there by Warner. He likes playing his shots, so now he's back in that change room. Doolan gets off the mark. Terrific from Steyn.
Chris Rogers thinking afterwards that perhaps it would have been best to sway out of the way. But he hadn't been getting too many short balls from Dane Steyn, and that one surprised him. Played it well though.
Yeah, a yard quicker as well, that one. He's been in the high 130s, that one at just over 142 k's per hour, so he's starting to ramp things up a little bit. Always an indication when the odd short delivery comes that he's feeling comfortable. It doesn't want that batsman just to get on that front foot, settle. Good stuff again, dragging the batsman to almost play that. 7 gone, 18 for 1. So he really hasn't slipped himself at this stage. Now Steyn, a little bit of movement off the deck too with that delivery.
They just kept a little lower that ball than Warner expected. Runs, nicely timed. 4 of them. The first boundary in Test match cricket for Doolan, who this morning had his cap given to him by Andrew Simons, HD.
Special moment, as you mentioned, for any player. And his first boundary will be etched in his memory for a long time to come. Overpitched from Philander. It's where he prefers to err because he likes his length to be that of the fullish one. And the outfield, there's always full value for your strokes here at Supersport Park.
And that's the sort of thing that Chris Rogers can accept, and the crowd love it.
There's extract bounce on any surface, does Morne Morkel. He's one of those rare assets as well, a right-arm bowler who can come around the wicket to left-handers and get the ball to move away from them. And there we can see first delivery banged in short, hits him on the shoulder. Just to let him know that he's around. This is going to be a bit of a hostile test series.
It's unlike Rogers to take his eye off the ball. Yes, that's brilliant! Brilliant! Graham Smith and Morne Morkel. A perfect plan. And a terrific catch to go with it.
Change of bowling by Graham Smith, and it's just taken 2 deliveries. Morne Morkel, the first one hit Rogers on the shoulder. This one banged in. Some excessive bounce, finds the glove, and JP Dumney, what a wonderful bit of movement. Diving to his right, takes the catch, and he's ecstatic. Morne Morkel, he couldn't have asked for a better start. Just 2 deliveries, he's picked up a wicket. Rogers has to go. He goes for 4. Australia, 24 for 2.
Darren Lehman, the Australian coach. Well, they've been in this position before during the Ashes. Australia found themselves losing early wickets as well. It was the men down the order that pulled them out of trouble early on. They're going to have to do it again. 24 for 2.
Right, here's a surprise. Shaun Marsh coming in at number 4, not Michael Clarke. Clarke has managed so many rescue operations for the Australians over the years. He's done many of those from the number 5 slot. He moved himself up to 4 in the Ashes. Started the series particularly well, made hundreds in the first 2 tests. But now there's a change here. Shaun Marsh, who was initially chosen on the tour, then because of injury was replaced by Philip Hughes. Then he made a good recovery from the injury, made 60-odd in the final of the Big Bash just the other day. It was on Friday night in Perth for the Scorchers. And here he is out in the middle in Pretoria. Played pretty well on the Australia A Tour here of late, and is one who's backed by the selectors. They have a hunch about him. They think that there's more from Shaun Marsh to come. This is fine bowling, accurate short pitch bowling, and unable to be ridden, if you like. What Rogers is trying to do is ride it, get on top of the bounce and knock it down, but it just gets big on him, hits the gloves, and Duminy, brilliant. Jeez. Whoa. That's some pace. 26 for 2.
Yeah, harsh call given his bars. Not much AB de Villiers could have done about that one. It's banged in, it's taken off. It's cleared the batsman comfortably. De Villiers has tried his best, hasn't even got close.
Well, I think they're just up a pace or two from where they might be, the wicketkeeper and slips, to make sure that catches carry, because when the ball's pitched up, it doesn't look as if there's that much pace in the pitch. It's not a super slow pitch, but not that much. You wouldn't have bet on it. If someone had said to you a couple of months back, 3 and 4 in South Africa for the first test, it'd be Alex Doolan and Shaun Marsh, you'd have said it's unlikely. Shane Watson injured. Michael Clarke dropping down to number 5. South Africa with a spring in their step.
So they should have. It's been a good recovery from South Africa. The first over went for 9. And since then it's been all about the South African bowlers. Finds the outside edge. Played pretty well with soft hands. That's why it doesn't carry. Doesn't push hard at it. Just allows it to come at him.
Way. Little bit of luck for Shaun Marsh. Fair enough. You need it against the new ball. 40 for 2. Very good stroke. Just waited a little longer there. Another sign that Doolan feels reasonably comfortable. He's not rushing his stroke play.
Yes, it was a good shot. A little bit of width from Dale Steyn. Too short, but it was the width on offer. No point in place. And he controls it wonderfully. Rolls those wrists. Fully in control. And looks like he can score nicely square of the wicket.
Oh, hit it, did he? Were there 2 noises? Did it nip back too much? So many questions that go through an umpire's mind.
Just every now and again he gets caught in the crease. Steyn looks to shape it away, but this one just nips back. And a little inside edge.
Beautiful stroke. Really good move into the ball from Shaun Marsh. A confident move. 46 for 2.
There's never going to be a massive stride when playing against Morné Morkel, and what's essential is just the weight transference. You just get it over that front foot. Well, he gets a big stride in there. That's brave. That's a super shot.
Right, well, it brings up the 50. 13 overs gone. 2 down. Tough to call it at the moment. They're sparring with each other, and it's drinks on the first morning.
Welcome back, everybody, to Supersport Park. An absorbing first hour has yielded a couple of wickets for the South Africans. A Warner first of all, and then a Rogers. A partnership forming there, 26 from 28 between Doolan and Marsh. They're 50 for 2, Australia, having been asked to bat first by South African captain Graham Smith when he won the toss. 1 for 19 to Dale Steyn, none for Philander for 14 from 5 overs. Oh, catch was the call, but it's over the slips and gone for 4. He went hard, Doolan.
Yeah, not the most elegant of shots, was it? It's a real waft. But if you go hard and you get enough bat on it, that's exactly what happens. It flies down harmlessly over the top of slips. He's played that really square. They say it's a sideways game. It wasn't in this case.
Oh, put it down! Smartly to his left and got there with one hand, Hashim Amla, but it didn't stick.
Just looked like he had it for a fraction. Moved pretty well and pretty quickly. Difficult chance though.
What a fantastic effort. He's hit this hard, middle of the bat, flown away to his left, and they either stay in or they do exactly what that did. They pop out again. Look at that, bang, it's gone into his hand just a little on the low side. A little bit higher up would have stayed in the fingers. Great effort.
It's gone fine. Dale Steyn able to get across though to cut it off. Leg byes.
So Sean Marsh, when he hit this, he would have thought that was 4. But Hashim Amla moved quickly and he moved well as well. So nearly stuck in that outstretched left hand.
Nudge leg side and Morne Morkel's after it. And he won't get there. Final delivery of the over goes for 4 then. 61 for 2.
It's a loose delivery. This is too much at the leg stump. Try and hit the top of off.
Oh, that's a beauty. That's come back nicely. Good stuff. This is good work from Ryan McLaren.
Height would be the question, I would think. They didn't bother to even get together to think about referring this. Came back quite sharply, but much too high. That would certainly have gone over the top.
A little bit short and a bit wide, and that's hammered away for 4. Very strong in that region.
Well, he's been watchful this morning, Sean Marsh, but when he's got a half volley from Morne Morkel, he's put that away. And now he gets one that's just a little bit on the wide side from Ryan McLaren, and he's absolutely spanked that.
Yeah, I think it's a good lesson actually for any youngster who's watching wherever he might be this broadcast going all around the cricketing globe. A little bit short. And what a catch! What a magnificent catch! That is outstanding stuff. Wow, you won't see better than that.
He's been pretty faultless as Doolan throughout his innings. And McLaren has been spot on as far as his line and lengths are concerned in his short spell, but on this occasion, I think that's going to be fine. And on this occasion, he just drops it slightly short. Doolan's onto it in a flash. A good catch by Robin Peterson.
Yeah, the third umpire just having a look at that front foot to make sure that it's a fair delivery, and as we can see, nothing wrong with that delivery. Not too sure he hit that as hard as he would have liked. I think it got onto him a little bit quickly, perhaps hit a bit high up on the bat, but an excellent catch. That's the wicket that South Africa wanted before lunch. One more. Doolan gone for 27, 72 for 3.
So the skipper's arrived. Michael Clark, what have we got? About 13, 14 minutes to go before lunch on day 1. So this is going to be a little bit of a tricky session for him. He's a wonderful player. 103 test matches, an average of 51.4. He scored big runs against South Africa as well. A best of 329 unfinished, 2600s. That is an enormous pedigree. A bit of excitement from the South Africans. In the end, it goes down to fine leg. 74 for 3.
I think we just saw a close to lunch shot there from Michael Clark. Thinking about the possibility of leaving it alone. He knows lunch is close, doesn't want to be playing at anything that he doesn't have to. Just a tad late in withdrawing that bat.
Sliding leg side, just a bit of a half shout from the slips cordon and A.B. de Villiers. Umpire not the slightest bit interested. That looks like it's going to be the end of the first session. And a first session which has been quite interesting. South Africa certainly making some serious inroads right at the start, getting 2 quick wickets. And then all the bowlers having a go. And the seamers coming back into proceedings at the end. Just sliding down the leg side, but an interesting first couple of hours of this series.
I'm not sure whether it's honours even, to be fair. The last wicket probably just tilted it in South Africa's favour.
Yeah, I'd be happy as a fielding team if I had inserted the opposition and had 3 wickets by lunch. The big one though is Michael Clark. That's the wicket that they will definitely want to be getting pretty quickly after lunch. Quickies will get a bit of a rest and come charging in again.
Yeah, it'll give Dale Steyn now a little bit of time to put his feet up during the interval. He's been helping out with a bit of advice to some various players. They're having a chat to Morkel, was doing the same to Ryan McLaren not so long ago. But he'll be able to get out of the sun and hopefully come back from a South African perspective and feel a little bit better. In the middle session, there's Darren Lehman, who's done such a terrific job with the brand of cricket that Australia now play. He's pretty pleased with Shaun Marsh in particular. 84 minutes for his 23.
South Africa got early wickets, that of Rogers and Warner, and were well on top. Then a partnership, a useful one, between the debutant Doolan and Marsh. Doolan was the first wicket for Ryan McLaren in his comeback into Test cricket, and the Marsh and Clark partnership, well, it's unbeaten.
The best partnership, as you said there, HD, Marsh and the Doolan, 48 runs. They would have loved to have carried on a bit longer, gotten a bit more. But this one now between Marsh and Clark, very, very important for Australia. They need to get a good partnership here.
So let's have a look at the work that's been done by the bowlers today. Steyn, half a dozen overs, not feeling particularly well, but picked up that very important wicket of Warner. Philander, 8 overs, economical. Morkel, 6 overs, 1 for 20. And Ryan McLaren drafted in the lineup. He'll be delighted that he's on that board as well. 1 for 8 after 5, and Peterson just a couple to give a bit of respite. So 27 overs, 83 for 3 it is. Interesting couple of hours in the start of this Test series. And that's where we are at lunch on day 1.
Good afternoon from Supersport Park. We're just a short while away from Centurion, which in itself is about a 40-minute drive from Johannesburg, and this much anticipated Test match series is underway. South Africa won the toss this morning. Graham Smith chose to put the Australians into bat. There was just a hint of opportunity in the pitch, some grass cover, some suggestion of uneven bounce perhaps with the cracking there. The pitch is much drier than people expected and maybe a little slower, and that's what the Australians made of Graham Smith's decision. 83 for 3. Rogers, Warner and Doolan, the men who have gone. Doolan's made his Test match debut today, given his cap by Andrew Simons, who's here working for another of the South African television networks. Dale Steyn has a wicket, as does Morne Morkel and Ryan McLaren. McLaren bowled particularly well, hit the pitch hard, and was an excellent foil for the big three, as Jacques Kallis has been over all these years. A beautiful stroke. There to be hit, you have to say, but Clark's so powerful through point.
That's what you're talking about there, Polly. Again, a fraction too short. Short and also given a bit of width.
We know how good square of the wicket Michael Clarke is. There's an example of it. Rolls the wrist perfectly, places it well.
That's the length. That's the line. Almost. Wow, now remember we have the full decision review system. So South Africa can take it to the third umpire if they want.
The problem though, Mark, is we see wicket keepers heading down the leg side and then appealing. But I think that's missing. Definitely missing. Close enough to think about it, but no point in trying to get that preferred.
Of course, once it's been given not out, it has to be hitting more than half of that leg stump, so it's comfortably missing anyway. So wise decision from Graham Smith.
Have a look at Vernon, watch this. Appeals not given. First thing he says, go upstairs, come on. It's got to be. Fast bowlers will do that. That's why you have to have calm men behind the stumps.
Yeah. See, wait your moment and then you pounce. I tell you, Mikey, his predecessor, Ricky Ponting, was a fantastic first Test match of the series player, setting up the series, impressing and imposing himself on the series.
And Clarke want to do more of the same. As you can see, if it is back of a length, it's easier to put away. A little bit of width on offer. And the cash is in. I think it's got to do with the nature of the pitch too. Off the back foot, it's easier to score. And it is fuller in length. It's not coming on as nicely.
Is it out? It should be out. It is out. The tactic works. Michael Clarke will be beside himself. Dale Steyn will have a little party.
There's lots of planning that went into that. Third man went back onto the boundary. A few short deliveries were bowled and Michael Clarke goes after it. He gets the top edge. He can't control it. And South Africa have picked up their fourth wicket. Here we see it, banged in. Clarke tries to pull it, doesn't really commit fully to the shot, almost tries to paddle it round. Hits the top edge and was up there for a long time in that wind, but Vernon Philander, safe hands. And South Africa have struck. They've got rid of the Australian captain. He goes for 23. Australia, 98 for 4.
There's a murmur of approval around Supersport Park because Michael Clarke, the Australian captain, one of the world's most prolific batsmen, is dismissed. Caught down long leg, an attempt not really at a hook stroke, more trying to control a sort of little paddle type pull shot, and it cost him without committing to the stroke.
Top shot. It's a long half volley to start though, and just what he'd have liked. Smith brings up the 100.
Not what you want from South Africa's point of view. They've created such good pressure today, all day, and this is just a release ball. So a good way for Smith to get off the mark.
Taking it on, and he's got it away. It's gone for 4. 110 for 4.
Oh, Graham Smith set a trap there for Shaun Marsh, but he took it on. He played it pretty well in the end, got right on top of that pull shot, went straight down to the ground, so no real risk there, and a good stroke.
It wasn't quite a bouncer, was it? Batsmen, they fancy a pull when it's around about chest high.
Straight down the deck and advances over the top. It's a very good shot indeed.
He almost lost control of his bat as he played this shot. It almost slipped out of his hands. Have a look here. Takes his left hand off it. But looking to attack, gets down the pitch. Doesn't quite get to the pitch of it, but goes through with the shot anyway. Executes it well.
And the important thing was it was the first ball of the over, so that's now transferred the pressure onto Peterson. There is a man at long on. And again, beautiful shot. Very fluent indeed, Smith. Nicely played for another boundary, the second of the over.
This is a quality shot. Uses his feet superbly well, gets to the pitch, just chips it back over the bowler's head. He does like to use his feet, does Smith, to the spinners. It's almost a strategy that Darren Lehmann has helped the Australian side implement once again. Look to be as attacking as possible against the spinners. We saw it against Swan in the Ashes.
glove that time, going nice and fine. And you come back and looks like you bring up the 50. It's a very nicely played half century from Sean Marsh. He really has got stuck in here.
He's gone after the short delivery, hasn't got it near the middle of the bat. In fact, I think it's come off the gloves, but it's gone away for a boundary, and it brings up a well-deserved 50 from Marsh. There's talk that it was a gut feel, the selection, to get him back into the equation of this Australian team. And it seems to be paying off for the powers that be. There's his stats: 101 deliveries, 7 fours, and he sits there on 52. He looks like he still might be struggling with that calf injury, but he's at the crease. He's got 50 on the board and looking to go a little bit deeper.
And it's been an innings which has been out of character. He's played some terrific shots, a couple of nice drives through the offside. But normally he's one of those guys who likes to get after the bowling, and once he gets going, tries to maintain a momentum. So 52 not out. Sean Marsh, 105 deliveries, 7 fours, has played some lovely shots, a couple of nice shots through the offside, which is a trademark shot, the drive that he plays, that little plunge. And as soon as Robbie Peterson came into the attack, both Smith and he decided they're going to try and get after him a bit. That's off the gloves, which went down nice and fine towards that boundary to bring up yet another 50. And a high percentage of those runs scored on the leg side. So good stuff from Marsh. 52 not out at the moment. Smith has been becalmed again of late, 19 years off 52 deliveries. And the stand is 47, and Peterson is out of the attack. Sean, Rob and myself out of the commentary box as well to take you through to the next half hour, to the tea break. It's going to be Michael Holding, H.D. Ackerman, and also Mark Nichols.
That's nicely timed by Steve Smith. Just dropped the bat on it. It's his great skill timing the cricket ball. He has a sort of fidgety method about him, but he's a much better player than that method might suggest.
That's all it was. He just used the taste that Philander provided, timed it away beautifully.
I was just thinking to myself when Sean Marsh went to 50 how much satisfaction there will be in Western Australia, specifically in Perth, where the Marsh family reside. His family there, mum and dad, and his brother, who have lived the ups and downs of his career with him. Justin Langer, who's done a good job going back to coach at Western Australia. The Perth Scorchers won the Big Bash on Friday night. And there was much celebration over in the West. Just a little punch. Looks an okay pitch now.
A bit overpitched on that occasion, though. Still have to put them away. Timing here from Marsh was excellent. Getting close on that front foot. Just a punch.
Oh, it's safe. Whoa. Almost as if the ball stopped in the surface. Marsh went at that and just spooned it over the head of extra cover.
I'm not sure Peterson picks this up immediately. There it is, just out of reach.
His reaction tells you that he didn't see it all the way through.
That's 4 byes. A mighty bounce that few other than Morne Morgul can get. Is too much for A.B. de Villiers. Signal wide by Alim Dar, which is fair enough. If that goes down as byes against A.B., it's pretty cruel.
There was one earlier on in the day that was signalled buys. He does well to get a fingertip on it.
Oh, Marsh is onto that quickly and gets a lot of it, and the fielding matches it. Hashim Amla. And a terrific return as well.
Kept them to a single. We saw earlier on what a bit of good fielding at backward square short leg produced a wicket. What will happen on this occasion? Quickly up, got rid of the ball very quickly as well.
Over the top, deliberate, fine shot.
Well executed late cut. It's outside off stump. The bounce allowed Steve Smith to play that shot, and he played it well.
Very much a 2020 shot, isn't it? One that we've seen Sachin Tendulkar even turn to from time to time. There's no third man down there. It's the safest shot in the book.
Well, that's beautifully played. Superbly done.
They're the nicest shots to watch, aren't they? Any form of a drive is beautiful to watch, but the on drive has something about it, because it's the toughest shot in the book to play. And he's just kept his feet out of the way, allowed the ball to come to him, used the pace of Morkel, high left elbow, sweet timing. Couldn't have played it better.
Again, another drive, this time to the fieldsman, but it's a good over, that one for Australia. 8 coming from it, 2 fine boundaries, 185 for 4. Terrific shot, nicely played, straight down the ground. Great control from Marsh.
Over pitching on this occasion, Dale Steyn. Marsh so well set that he's not going to miss out on a half volley of this nature. Still got to execute the stroke, which he does beautifully.
He's really trying to swing that one, Dale Steyn, and that's why he over-pitched it. But he's moving very well, Shaun Marsh. His footwork's good, he's getting forward, he's getting back.
This really is a very important innings for Shaun Marsh's career.
Catches the call. Oh, it's just evaded Morne Morkel. A dive it puts in there, and he doesn't get to it. 4 runs. That's what they were after.
It's gone the pull shot, and it's gone airborne. Goes away to the boundary, brings up the 100 partnership between Smith and Marsh. Have a look at it again. Just hits it airborne. He wouldn't have wanted to. Morne Morkel made some good yards. He's a tall man, and he put it in the dive. But unfortunately for South Africa, couldn't get his hand to it. But it has been a wonderful partnership between these two batsmen. Really what Australia required. They've gone about it in a fantastic manner and really looked comfortable for most of that partnership. 101 of 170 deliveries.
I hope HD Ackerman wasn't watching. He says he doesn't like seeing Morne Morkel dive.
Misfield. Dale Steyn back on the field. Oh, gotta hurry. Gotta hurry. Oh dear, didn't get back to his stumps. And if he had, that could well have been a chance.
Real opportunity there for South Africa. You heard AB de Villiers in the background shouting, bowler, bowler, take it off, because he did think there was an opportunity to run Marsh out. He's got a bit of a calf issue. Dale Steyn releases it here. And you'll see when the ball gets to Ryan McLaren, there's no one anywhere near the stumps. He would have been comfortably out if he had managed to gather it and quickly get it onto the stumps. And Dale Steyn recognises it was an opportunity for South Africa to make the breakthrough.
It's a good shot. He struck it well enough. Amla will not get there. 4 runs.
Over pitched this time by McLaren, 2 full in length. Smith, who's looking very settled at the crease now. He won't miss out on these. There's a man back on the boundary behind square on the offside, but he's not going to chase that one down. Well played. South Africa put under some more pressure.
Got it away, cuts it off his stumps, just short enough. And Marsh gets 4 more.
Marsh has spent quite a bit of time in the RPL, so he would have faced more than enough spin in his career. And he won't miss out on those kind of deliveries. Short, plenty of time for him to rock back, to place it behind square on the offside. He does it superbly well.
Oh, it's short of slip. A little bit of extra bounce from Ryan McLaren. Whether or not he cut his fingers across the ball to try to get something out of the surface. Yes, sure did.
Yeah, mate. Let's go. Run now.
All good running.
Run him out. Oh.
Something Smith has done very well in this innings. Just manoeuvre the ball around with his wrists. Scoreboard has never stood still.
They're going to target the end that Marsh runs to.
Oh, glorious cover drive from Steve Smith. 50 for a man who has made himself a certainty in this Australian side, with hundreds against England, both in England and at home in Australia. And now he goes to 50 here in South Africa.
Steve Smith's
230 for 4.
Of 118 deliveries, 7 fours.
7 boundaries in his 118 ball innings of 51 not out. But he showed a lot more than just his boundary hitting capabilities. He's run well between the wickets, as Mark Nicholas has rightly pointed out. His manipulation of the ball has been excellent. It's been a well-constructed half-century.
He's left the ball very well, as well. So I didn't think he had the patience to do, to be honest. 99 now.
Oh, like that, James.
Seven fielders saving a single, plus the slip. The only man back at deep backward square leg. Marsh on 99. He's done it! Sean Marsh rewards the selector's faith. An extra special 100 here at Centurion. A splendid moment.
11 fours from Australia, Sean Marsh.
They are extra special moments, aren't they? You feel as pleased as punch every time you do it. Doesn't matter how many hundreds you get, but this was extra special because of the story that Mark Nicholas has just shared with you, the ups and downs for this young man and the ins and outs of this team.
That's nicely played. Controlled stroke. Picks the spot. Stayed balanced, retained his height, hit down on the ball. And the partnership's cracking along now. 146 it's worth.
And this is what they've done well as well. Whenever South Africa have bowled a poor delivery, it's been put away. Very seldom have they missed out. And there's never a lot on offer from a quality bowling attack, but that's just back of a length from Philander, and at his pace, Smith's able to put that away.
With as little damage as possible.
Oh.
There's no sort of obvious intent to take wickets. There's no clear plan. The field is spread. The Australians can manoeuvre the ball around and score at 4 and over without too much stress. It's 249 for 4.
Well, ladies and gents, boys and girls,
now,
it's up to
150
between Steve Smith and Sean Marsh for Australia.
Come at a decent rate too. They picked up the scoring rate when they came together.
16 boundaries, they faced 200.
Australia was scoring at under 3 and over, now they're 3.5.
Change the ball in. Down round. Oh, down, Joe! I don't use my way, I got my input.
It's the difference we've seen between Nathan Lyon and the likes of Robin Peterson and JP Dumley. He's been happy to give it flight, and bounce is often not thought of as a weapon for spinners. Just turn is what people look at, but there is bounce here, and spinners have a decent record at this ground.
263 for 4 then Australia, put in by South Africa when Graham Smith won the toss this morning. Bit of grass on the surface, expected it to do something. Didn't do a great deal, to be fair. With the new ball, you expect that the ball move around a little bit, and did just that. They managed to get Australia to 98 for 4. And then this partnership between Marsh and Smith, 165. That's gone for 4. He's had a full swing at that, wide and a bit full.
Pace is down as well, just 128 k's that one. It was full and it was wide. So that's a problem, taking that second new ball. When you use it, you've got to try and use it well, otherwise it can travel pretty quickly off the bat.
He's gone again, 2 full and put away for 4.
Philander trying to get it as full as he possibly can with a second new ball, but that's a floated half volley. Smith sitting in the 70s, now moving to the 80s. He's not going to miss out on that opportunity. It's a good shot. I've got to say, this is easy pickings for a man who's been at the crease for that length of time.
Yeah, no pace, that's the problem.
That's a good shot, very good shot. It'll go for 4. Sweetly struck by Smith.
Said Delstein would fancy his chances against the right-hander. More than equal to the task with Steve Smith. Wonderfully executed cover drive. Foolish in length. Just opens the face, leans onto it. We've seen this outfield being quick all day. And there you can see off the middle of the bat. He moves to 85.
Catch was the call. It was close, but it went quickly. Backward a point for 4.
That's where he's very strong, Sean Marsh. That last one went like a rocket. It was dropped earlier today by Hashim Amla. A very difficult chance in a similar fashion. That one, JP Duminy just couldn't get that right hand to the ball.
I definitely say strong, but I think maybe the only weakness is the fact that he does hit it airborne there from time to time, and there's been 2 occasions. One went to the hand of Hashim Amla. This one just beating.
Sean Marsh said he's been patient. He's played some beautiful shots as well. Right forward, had to drive through the covers, and he doesn't mind it short. Cuts and pulls. With the spinner on, he attacked. Looked to put the heat on. Couple of times they might have shouted catch it here and there, but other than the one to Amla, it's been good. No other chances. He's on to 115 now.
Oh, that's a nasty one. Off the body. A little bit of excitement. A bit of optimism, I think, from some of the South Africans. Nice delivery from Morne Morkel, but just a medal, just a bruise.
Well, I tell you what, just as well it didn't hit the bat or the glove, because there was confusion in the slip cordon. That's a cracking delivery.
Sure is. That's what they need late in the day.
That's 4.
And nicely played again. He was certainly offered a bit of width, and he put that away with conviction. Moves to 90 now to Smith. 292 for 4.
This is becoming hard work now for the faster bowlers. Margin of error not great. Pitchers playing well.
Oh, it's a beauty. That's a terrific delivery from Morne Morkel. That's what he can do. Suddenly out of nowhere, get something to leap at the throat. 295 for 4.
Oh, that one certainly could have flown anywhere.
Do it.
Played it fairly well. Took the bottom hand off the bat. That meant less pressure on the bat going forward towards the ball. So that enabled the ball to fall well short of the fielder.
They said they'll do the work on the park, and there's no doubt today is a day that has belonged to Australia. They certainly were in trouble at one stage. It's belonged to Sean Marsh. He has been magnificent. So they took that second new ball at the start of the 83rd over. We know that one of two things happens. Either wickets go down or runs get scored. On this occasion, it's the latter. And that change room will be very relaxed with what has happened today. After being 24 for 2 at one stage and 98 for 4, as we look back, Rogers and Warner, the two left-handers, they were gone early. Doolan on debut played pretty well for that 27, was there for some time. Michael Clark, now he was dismissed. A very quick delivery from Dale Steyn. It was 98 when he went, and South Africa will cock a hoop. But now this stand of 199 between Sean Marsh and Steve Smith has been brilliant from Australia's perspective. And with Haddon, who's in fine form at the moment in the Test arena to come, and Johnson, who we know can bat as well, and then a couple of seamers and an off spinner. It's going to be a challenge first up.
Yeah, South Africa would have been thinking to themselves, huge partnership of 48 as far as the rest were concerned earlier on, but bigger was to come, better was to come for Australia. Sean Marsh and Steve Smith, they're producing 199 runs and possibly quite a few more to come.
Mark, we're going to have a bowl. Yeah, very undecided this morning.
Can we ask what you might have done?
I was going to bat first, Mark.
He's done it! Sean Marsh rewards the selector's faith. An extra special 100 here at Centurion.
No doubt today is a day that has belonged to Australia. They certainly were in trouble at one stage. It's belonged to Sean Marsh. He has been magnificent.
We're at Supersport Park. It's day number 2. Welcome on a lovely day here in Centurion. It's test match number 1 between South Africa and Australia. South Africa number 1 in the world, Australia number 3. Two teams on good form, taking each other on in this first Sunfoil test match.
We saw each other at the airport at 4 o'clock early on Sunday morning, and you didn't really know where you were. The news that you were coming to South Africa was very last minute.
Yeah, look, it was. Yeah, it's just great to be over here now and to get an opportunity to play in the first test, and to get 100 yesterday was fantastic. So yeah, it's been good the last couple of days, and hopefully we can continue that on today.
We have a beautiful day again at Supersport Park for day 2 in this test series. Of course, it is the first test of 3. Day 1 certainly belonged to Australia, and South Africa have got a second new ball, which is pretty much brand new, I suppose, and they've got some work to do this morning. We know that Dale Steyn was under the weather yesterday. He apparently is a bit better today, and I'm certain that Graham Smith will be looking to his strike bowler, his number 1 strike bowler, to try and make some inroads. They've done it before, South Africa, where they've had a sluggish day 1 in the field. They've done it before, they've come back strongly, and Sean Marsh is on 122 not out. He is absolutely magnificent this form at the moment, and was a special knock indeed. Alongside me, Michael Holding and also Sean Pollock. Sean, good morning.
Yes, South Africa with it all to do, Mark. Indeed, Stephen Smith, he wouldn't have been sleeping as comfortably as Sean Marsh was. Sitting on 122, he would have slept very well. Steve Smith would have been thinking about these 9 runs and where he's going to accumulate them. Vernon Philander back into the attack
to start proceedings. He likes that, Vernon. AB de Villiers also likes it. Vernon's one of those bowlers who always wants to go upstairs. Graham Smith says no, we're not having a look. Morning, Mikey.
Morning, Mike. Yes, Vernon Philander certainly thinks everything that gets past the bat has a chance of being out. Well, a bit of movement there, but I would think anything that high on the leg is going to be going over the top. Just a slight guess.
What did you say? The stumps don't grow or something yesterday?
No, they're all dead.
But you got to give it to him, Mikey. You've toiled all day, and the first delivery bowl the next day beats the bat, hits the pad, and you think you're in.
Well, rest assured, we'll keep you up to date with any news you do hear about Morne Auckland and that scan. Let's keep our fingers crossed if you happen to be a South African supporter. Everyone's been talking about the fact that the Australians have fielded the same 11 for 5 test matches, the first time that's ever happened. 5 test matches in a row. And people were saying there might be some injury concerns with them because of the workload they've done. No, the Giraffe has gone down early in the series.
Big positive for South Africa, though, is Dale Steyn. Saw him this morning, he was looking a lot more sprightly.
Wait.
Not that short, but he managed to get that away, but no run in the end. A maiden to start proceedings, 297 for 4. Yeah, that's the mistake they made in the first innings, day 1 against India at the Wanderers, and suddenly at the start of day 2 they were straighter and got rewarded. At the moment it's a couple of blokes from Australia who've been rewarded with a 200 stand.
Yeah, mate, come on. Come on. Oh!
Directed there by McLaren, and Sean Marsh looks like he's running better between the wickets this morning, so he's had a bit of treatment. Injury he felt yesterday. That brings up the 300 as well. There's the throw. De Villiers lets it go because he knows they're going to hit the stumps, but Sean Marsh makes his ground comfortably.
Quick question to you here, Polly. Does he need that man out that deep, Philander?
I was thinking the same thing, but I think what the strategy might be, let's make him think that we're going to hit you with the odd short delivery and then try and find the outside edge. But now what they've done is they put a short mid wicket in place. That's where you want to be bowling, and that's where they took the short mid wicket from. It's going to end up going down. 50% makes some good ground, so it's just 2. I think that's the challenge, is the situation they find themselves in. Australia got off to such a good start. They're conscious of not going for too many runs, but I think the key for the next 10 overs needs to be all about wickets. They've got a new ball in their hand, they need to try and pick them up.
Yeah, that's my opinion as well. It's all about wickets now for South Africa, and I don't think if you're looking for wickets you can then have an evenly set field. You can't have like a 5-4 field. You need a 6-3 field. Tell your bowler this is a line that you've got with bowling. Have a fairly attacking field because you need wickets.
Now, is there any glove on that? Well, there may be, but there's no positive response from Alim Dar. So this may be a chance for a review. The South Africans seem absolutely certain. Indeed, it will be reviewed.
Well, Graham Smith has gone straight. There was no conversation, nothing.
There's a clear amount of reaction from Snicko when the ball hits the shirt. Is there something first when it hits the glove? And is that conclusive enough? Remember, it has to be conclusive enough to overturn the decision made by Alim Dar. That's the issue. Right, Alim is now listening to Ian Gould, and the decision is there's nothing there that says overturn it. Australia delighted, Sean Marsh relieved.
I guess what it is early on when the ball's new and it's moving, the full stump channel is fine, but when the batsmen are then set and things change, then you need to look to change your tactic.
Oh, yeah. Nope. Oh, we got some drama here at Supersport Park.
That also comes off the inside leg, so another good decision.
Well, you really sense that Steyn and Philander are pumped up here. They sense that this is a key moment in the game, that they cannot let Australia get away from them here. Oh, good stroke. Cut beautifully off the back foot yesterday, and he has that ability to cut off the front foot as well. And he plays it so nice and late, the ball's almost gone past him.
Yeah, it's very good. Square of the wicket on the offside, so he's enjoying this middle order role, Sean Marsh. He was in the air for a while. We talked yesterday about perhaps having 2 gullies.
Yes, Smith has certainly tried to close off that area just behind point. The orthodox gully's quite square and deepish, and point is a little closer than he might otherwise be. Bats ready, held up aloft, face shot. It'll work to the leg side, he goes! Steve Smith has a 4th Test match 100. A tremendous, mature performance.
Brilliant performance, batted quite beautifully, came in with Australia under pressure, combined superbly with Sean Marsh, and he's absolutely delighted, and why shouldn't he be?
Catch that, he does! Smith goes! Ryan McLaren gets one in the slot.
Beautifully bowled by Ryan McLaren, he had to play at it, a little bit of extra bounce. Steve Smith annoyed with himself, but he's played an excellent innings. Well and truly deserved his century, and it took a very good delivery to get rid of him.
Yeah, he has every right to be really proud of himself. He's got his team out of a hole. They were in a hole when he came to the crease, there's no doubt about that. As he leaves it, they're 331 for 5. He's out, bang on 100.
Haddon is in now. He was Superman, I reckon, in the Ashes. He was absolutely fantastic for Australia. In times when they were in strife, he'd come in and get heaps and heaps of runs. That's a look at his career. Average of just over 36.5 and more than 3,000 runs, 400s and 17 50s, and you'd bet that most of those runs are important runs. Big shot, huge shot, and given out. The finger went up straight away from Alim Dar, and it's Peterson who gets the man. It's going upstairs though.
If it's hitting off stump, I think it's just clipping. The impact is umpire's call.
Yep, and it's hitting the stumps as well. So that's him done. The decision remains out.
Yeah, I think Haddon was looking where he finished up rather when the ball made contact with the pad. The finger goes up. South Africa, double blow. Robin Peterson stepped up to the plate. He's picked up the 6th Australian wicket. Braden Haddon's innings comes to an end. Just a brief one from him. He goes without troubling the scorers. Australia now of 332 for 6.
He's had to wait a long time to walk to the crease, Brad Haddon. The partnership was a significant one between Smith and Marsh, well over 200, and when he gets his opportunity, he comes in when Australia are in a position of authority, and he probably tries to play his natural game, accelerate the run rate even more and try and set up a declaration. But instead, he gives South Africa a little opening right here.
He's scored some important runs as well for Australia when they found themselves in strife, particularly in that Ashes series that was so successful. He's an all-rounder, really, you'll say, despite his main job being bowling in the side. Best score of 123 not out, and that was against South Africa.
Oh!
Tossed up that time and driven through the covers. It'll go for 4 as well. Not a good end to the over for the South Africans. 3-3-6 for 6.
He's not going to score slowly. I think even with long on back and deep mid-wicket back, Johnson will probably take them on once he gets to 20, but that's a good stroke.
Beautifully played. It was short and wide, and he cut it all along the ground for 4.
Well, sweepers all around for the left-handed man on naught. The one on 142. He has slipped in a gully and 4 men saving 1. So helps himself to 4.
Nicely played. That bit too full and driven for 4. 348 for 6.
Frustration for McLaren. He's searching for that outside edge. He's been on a good length and beaten the bat a couple of occasions. He tries to get it just a touch fuller. Mitchell Johnson just holds his pose as he caresses it through the covers.
Got him, that's him, gone. They finally find the edge. And a quite beautiful innings comes to an end.
Huge wicket for South Africa. The man who's been the bulk of the scoring, the anchor for the Australian innings. He's got the outside edge. It's gone to Graham Smith. And they're just going to have a look at that front foot before Marsh is allowed to leave their arena. This would be a huge blow for the South Africans if it was over the line. But that's fine, there's no problem there whatsoever. So Vernon Philander has produced a wonderful delivery, one that's just nipped away from the left hand. It's found the outside edge. He's got his first wicket of the test match, has Vernon. There we see it, back of a length, nips away, he fends it. He's left so well throughout his innings. This time he goes after it, finds the edge. He goes for a well-played 148, a wonderful innings. Australia now 348 for 7.
Ryan Harris has walked out to the middle. Average just under 20. A couple of 50s to his name. Oh, big shout, but there's bat on that. Question is it pad first? That's what Vernon Philander is asking his skipper. He wants to go upstairs, skipper says no. 348 for 7.
Vernon's he's not from 3 here, guys. He's wanted to go upstairs 3 times, and each time it's been turned down. Inside edge.
A glorious cover drive. Don't forget how dangerous Mitchell Johnson is. Don't forget his record against South Africa. He averages more than 45. And 5 years ago in the series, he tore the South Africans apart at times.
Beautifully struck, as good as it gets as far as a cover drive is concerned. Very strong, very talented Mitchell Johnson.
That's brilliant. That's amazing. That's a number 8 batsman.
Well, he's not a bad player. He's a very good player, Mitchell Johnson, and a very dangerous player. He doesn't believe in singles and twos. More times than not, he's looking towards the boundary. A few gaps down there in the slip cordon, and even if the slip cordon had been fully packed, I think that would have gone over the top anyway.
That's why he's promoted up the order.
Excellent shot. Played to perfection, the square cut.
I think everyone said that day 2 would be the best day to be batting on this surface. And although we have seen a few Australian wickets go down, we can see that this pitch is playing beautifully at the moment. The odd ball has misbehaved because there are some cracks there.
Oh, that's 4. How many times do we talk about the modern captain's inability to see the value in a third-man fielder, Mikey?
They don't run 25 meters and deliver a ball, you see, Mark. It doesn't hurt them as much as it hurts the bowler. It wouldn't have been a catch, definitely not. It would have fallen short if there was another slip fielder in there. But there wouldn't have been another 4 runs added to the total.
Steyn asks from around the wicket. The angles are difficult, and Alim Dar, who said no so many times to the South Africans, says no again. There's a review in the bank, and they're not going to review this one either.
They would love to get rid of Mitchell Johnson. He scores quickly, but I think they can see that this is probably heading down the leg side. Perhaps hit him in line, but the ball still has a bit more distance to travel, and the angle of delivery, it would have taken the ball down the leg side, I think. Look where he's bowling that from. It's pretty wide. Impact is in line. Well, it says hitting. Interesting.
And Johnson survives it, not without alarm, but the Australians get into lunch with more to come in the afternoon session. Excellent performance from Sean Marsh, backed up by Steve Smith. And now Mitchell Johnson unbeaten with 28 from 46 balls. He's hit 5 boundaries in that innings, reminding us of his all-round talent. And he sees the funny side of a few blows from Big Mornay. Right, there we go. The Australians 374 for 7. Sean Marsh 148 and Steve Smith 100. Tremendous partnership from that pair, who had real control out there. It was well thought through, and they had the South African attack in their hand. A partnership of 233 came from 422 balls. And it's a record partnership at this ground for that wicket, the 5th wicket here at Supersport Park. 116 overs bowled by the South Africans, and they've all stuck at it particularly well without ever quite being at their very best. 2 for 67 for Dale Steyn, 1 for 69 Vernon Philander, 1 for 73 Morne Morkel, 2 for 73 Ryan McLaren. A wicket there for Robin Peterson, who ended up bowling 14 overs for 47. All of this bodes well for this afternoon. We'll see you then.
Sama, Singela, Sama, Sama, Singela, Sama.
The sun is beating down at the moment at Supersport Park. It's been a warm couple of days. The cloud is just building up a fraction, so we might be able to see a bit of swing later on in the day, and we might get just a little bit of a thunderstorm as well. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But the story of this test match is that Australia 374 for 7. South Africa have been on the park for 116 overs. A couple of centurions, Marsh, magnificent, 148, and Smith, outstanding for his century. And the South Africans have had to toil hard, though, but without Morne Morkel for most of the morning this morning. And Dale Steyn has kept going, 26 overs, he's picked up 2. The wickets have been shared, and they'll be thinking only about picking up these last 3 wickets so that they can get a chance to go and have a bat and face the ferocity, if you like, of Mitchell Johnson in particular. I've got HD Ackman and also Sean Pollock alongside me. Sean, they're going to want to wrap this up pretty quickly.
They would indeed. I think it's nothing more frustrating in a test match when the bottom order starts contributing as well, particularly after you've had a long partnership that you had to wait a long time to break. Those are the 2 men who are entrusted with the job for Australia. Mitchell Johnson's got himself a start. He sits there on 28, and Ryan Harris has got 7. But they're more than capable. We've seen them in the past get some runs. So South Africa, we're hoping they can break this and wrap up the innings as quickly as possible.
Good afternoon, HD. How do you reflect on the morning?
It was an interesting morning because the partnership continued to grow between Smith and Marsh, and then it was broken. Ryan McLaren got rid of Smith, and South Africa were given just a glimmer of getting back into the game because Brad Haddon, like I suppose you can only describe it as threw his wicket away, and then it was Marsh that went, and there was a period where Australia got 17 runs, South Africa got 3 wickets. So they sit in a position now where, yes, 374 is a sensational score, but they've got themselves sort of back into this test a little bit with the morning they've had as far as wicket taking is concerned.
Right, here we go. JP Dumini to start the second session on day 2. He's a lion-hearted performer, Ryan Harris. Really did an amazing job, I thought, providing outstanding support for Johnson. Also Siddle, Johnson with those short spells. There's no doubt that Johnson's ferocity helped them with some wickets. That's a little bit short and wide. There's a sweeper, Husham's. Let that go. Wow, that's the last thing South Africa wanted.
Yeah, unfortunately, a boundary, and I must admit, a couple of the sessions when the South Africans have come back onto the field, the intensity's just been a bit lower than what you've come to expect from them over the years.
Chopped it on, got him. Dalstein's been rewarded with another one. Gee, he's tried hard. He hasn't been fully fit. He's not getting carried away with any celebrations there. It's been hard graft from him, but the most important thing is he's got a result.
South Africa wanted an early wicket after lunch, after the success they had just before. Staines the man to deliver. It's an inside edge, there's no real foot movement, plays well away from his body and crashes into off stump. So Harris goes for 19, Australia 391 for 8.
So another one of the bowling heroes for Australia arrives, is the man that does a lot of the hard yards with the ball, is Peter Siddle. Always right at the batsman. Amazing transformation, actually. If you think about how he was a couple of years ago, now he's turned into the vegetarian, the vegan diet. He's lost. He's as fit as a butcher's dog these days. He's really lean.
Yes! Goes on the slog, tries to hit the first delivery from Robin Peterson for 4. I think he got a little edge onto it, but he's bowled. The timber's been knocked over, and Mitchell Johnson has to make his way back to the change room.
Gee, he won't be happy with that shot. Shaking its head as he walks away. Would have realised it hasn't got all that much support at the other end, but it's the last thing he wanted to do, I'm sure. He's thinking about an opportunity to further frustrate the South Africans, keep them out in the hot sun a bit longer. Not to be. It was a pretty tidy innings of 33. 391 for 9 now, Australia. 297 for 4 it was overnight. Nathan Lyon, vastly improved, energised. Off spinner, Nathan Lyon. Best of 40 unfinished.
Bowled in, he's dragged it on. That's the end of the innings for Australia. They're all out to 397. It's been a good comeback from South Africa. They had Australia 331 for 4, and they've managed to pick up the last 6 wickets and make sure that Australia do not get to the 400 mark.
And really good stuff from Dalstein. We know that he wasn't 100%, far from it, I reckon. Feeling a bit better today. Just kept trying. Bowled 20 odd overs yesterday, into his 29th now. He's picked up a return of 4, and there go the opening batsmen for Smith and also Peterson up those steps to get ready, because things are going to be pretty ferocious, I'm sure, because they've been on the park for 122 overs, these South Africans, and they will be a bit weary. Mitchell Johnson, Ryan Harris, Peter Siddle, they're going to be fired up.
I think a lot of credit needs to go to Dalstein. He didn't feel well, there's no doubt about that. But he's contributed 4 wickets. He's got 4 for 78, and South Africa picked up the last 6 wickets with just 66 runs. So a much better performance from South Africa today. They've regrouped overnight, come back a stronger unit. Now they've got the opportunity to bat and see what they can do about chasing down this 397.
So the Aussies are out there. Expectation is that there'll be some pace, a lot of it. Mitchell Johnson to lead his troops as far as the bowling attack is concerned, and Michael Clark will ask that they get into the South Africans. Kepler Wessels and Robin Jackman alongside me. Kepler, how do you see it going forward?
Well, 6 wickets fell today for 100 runs, so South Africa will be happy with that return, but that will also encourage Australia, who will now get their first opportunity with the ball. We had a look at the pitch. We think that it will get more uneven as the game goes on. There might be a little bit of turn there as well, but still a good batting surface, so very important from South Africa's point of view that they make this first innings count.
On the board straight away, short and pulled away for 4.
That's a really brave shot. First ball of the innings, whacks it in. I know he's stood at slip for a day and a half and has got an idea of the pace of the pitch, but not with a bat in his hand. Bang. No nonsense. You bowl there, I'm going to hit you for 4.
Off the edge, all along the ground though, and gone for 4. Decent bowling.
Good delivery this time. That's a better length. Drawing Graham Smith forward and going across him.
Have a look at the footwork there, not a great deal of it. Very soft bottom hand though. Ball goes down. Hardly gripping the bat with that bottom hand, which was very helpful in terms of it not carrying to a fielder.
No!
interested in seeing how the pitch actually does go. And so far, I'm not too sure if I'd say he's loosening up. Probably more say just getting into it. There's Ryan Harris. Oh, that's a goodie. It's a very good ball, that, and it's got his man. What a good bumper that was. And it gets rid of Graham Smith, the South African captain.
Well, that was a beauty. We always talk about dropping a glove. Well, no chance of Graham Smith doing that. That was a hostile delivery. It wasn't all that short. It just took off. And what a start for the Australians.
Well, this was lethal, wasn't it? A better idea in a moment, but when it comes to bowling aggressively and bowling just that little bit short or short to intimidate the batsman, it doesn't get a lot better than that. Smith's gone for 10. It's 11 for 1.
It will take the South African top order a little while to get used to the pace that Mitchell Johnson operates at, because it's been a fair while since they've come across that. So there's Hashim Amla's record. It's a brilliant one.
Yes, little edge. Yep. 2 for Johnson, 2 for Australia. And both openers gone.
There was just a hint of width for Alvaro Peterson. And now South Africa are in awful trouble. Whacked in, it's short, maybe not wide enough for the square cut, but the outside edge is found. It's a simple catch for Brad Haddon. Australia are jubilant, their man is doing it again. South Africa lose Alvaro Peterson for just 2. South Africa are 15 for 2.
Not the best of starts this for South Africa, and that's an understatement. Both openers back in the pavilion, and Mitchell Johnson, well, we know he's quick, and we are now seeing that he's getting very consistent with his line and the length. And even sometimes when you're that quick and you're not as perfect with your line and the length as you would like, you can still get wickets. Pace intimidates. Pace can create problems in people's minds. Pace can get you to play at balls that you wouldn't play at normally.
Oh, quick, too quick. Vicious. Johnson is the destroyer. South Africa are in disarray.
.1 kilometers per hour. Now that is pace. And for those around the rest of the world that deal with miles per hour, he's into the 90s, high 90s. That was just too quick, uncomfortably quick. And at that height, not too easy to negotiate. That is trouble now for South Africa. 23 for 3.
AB de Villiers takes guard this remarkable record, a career of 90 matches, averaging more than 50. Having taken the gloves, his average increased when people thought it would decrease. A higher score against Pakistan of 278. Now, what's AB got? That's nicely played. A little work away through the mid-wicket area from a calm-looking AB de Villiers. We can't tell what's going on inside. Heart may be bursting out of its chest. Leg gully in for Amla, and backward point is close. And Amla just shuffles into line. It's a good way to play against very quick bowling. Get into line and just punch the ball down the ground.
It wasn't quite timed, was it? I had a feeling he was. There wasn't a. The weight was more on the right foot than the left.
Can't blame him for that, HD.
Not at all. There's going to be a reluctance to push forward.
But the motion is right, because he's transferring the weight back into the ball. Even if he's a bit late on it because of the pace, he's going the right way, which gives him a chance. Ouch, ouch. Whoa. Complete misjudgment from Hashim Amla. 28 for 3.
Yeah, he ducked once against India and had his stumps knocked over. But this is not short enough. It doesn't bounce, does it? That doesn't bounce much.
Nicely done. Stays down and low through the stroke. Amla's getting stuck in here. 31 for 3.
South Africa certainly need this. As HD was saying earlier on, there's no point just hanging around and looking to survive. When the bad balls come along, even balls that are not necessarily bad but close enough to score off, you have got to try and score.
Well, let's come back a little bit. Tight line has come back. It seemed in. The Australians like that. They like that a lot. Brad Haddon is going to have a chat to Peter Siddle. He can't believe that hasn't been given out. He's trying to control his emotions right now. No doubt Michael Clark will get involved. It definitely came back, and yes, they've sent it upstairs.
Yeah, we have. This is the business area. What has unfolded? Ball pitches, nips back. Oh, I think that's good. And the celebrations have started. The Australians are watching on the big screen. They feel he's got him. The two noises were different pads, front pad and then back pad, and I think he's going to be on his way.
And that is a massive blow. That really is a huge blow. Hashim Amla's almost halfway off. He saw the replays on the big screen as well. And South Africa now, what are we, 13 overs into this innings. Already they're 4 down. Amla for 17, 43 for 4. The intensity from the Australians has been absolutely superb. 4 down. JP Duminy will get some straight deliveries, but he'll certainly be peppered with the odd short delivery.
No question about that. Needs to improve his test record. JP Duminy average of 32. We want to try and get it close to 40, just over 40 if he can.
Crows have catch it, but it's gone too far, this one. Might be caught in the crowd. It is. Good catch in the crowd. Oh, no, it's not. It's been grassed in the end. 6 runs the result, and a little bit of a wry grin from AB and Mitchell.
That's what top speed will do too. If you get it anywhere near the middle of the bat, it goes the distance, especially here at the half-veld. Maybe de Villiers picks up 6 more runs. In position early, it's down the leg side, sort of hip height, and he flicks it. Man positioned himself well on the bank, but unfortunately technique let him down in the end.
Whipped away. Bread and butter that for AB de Villiers.
Yes, quality shot from de Villiers. Good balance. Ball fired down the leg side. He just clips it square on the leg side. He's a class player, AB de Villiers. Hasn't had much cricket coming into this test match. He's recovering from a minor operation where they went in and took the plate out of his wrist. It was bothering him.
And say a Jeff Thompson, I suppose. Malinga. Solid. Good stuff. Solid shot from Duminy. That will help his cause just before tea. Again, a bit of a mutter as well from Johnson. 62 for 4.
This will give JP Duminy a huge amount of confidence. He's dealt with that superbly. It's banged in. Probably knows it's coming, but he's dispatched it with disdain. Wonderful shot. Full control. Middle of the bat. Quality.
So it's a struggle at the top of the order. Graham Smith, Alvira Peterson, Hashim Amla going cheaply, so did Faf du Plessis. So this partnership now key. AB de Villiers looking good on 25.
McLaren, Peterson, Philander, and the 2 quicks to come. Bowling figures, let's check these out quickly. Harris opened the proceedings, 6 overs, none for 21. Johnson, 4 overs he picked up 3 wickets as well. He's bowled 6 in total now. And Siddle again hasn't let his skipper down in just a 1 over from Nathan Lyon. But it's been all about the ferocity, the aggression for Mitchell Johnson that has put South Africa on their back foot in this first test match.
Good shot. Beautiful. Just aired in length, a fraction. And de Villiers bounced, end of the over, 69 for 4.
man running in, bowling at 150 kilometres an hour. The temptation is to hang around on the back foot. A.B. de Villiers recognises when there's an error in length and it's a little bit too full. It was a beautiful stroke.
If you can bowl that quick, you might just as well. We saw a few of those from Morning Morkel, a couple from Dale Steyn, balls that just take off, and de Villiers had no chance of stopping them, as Brad Haddin didn't there.
He has a flip at it as well, A.B. de Villiers.
No, not yet anyway.
It looked like it's knocking middle out about halfway up, but I think it's pitched outside. Ooh, has it? No, maybe it's sliding across past off stump. Done too much. Well, not done too much, hadn't come back enough. It's definitely pitched on. I think it's missing off.
Wonderful stroke. That's a stroke of pure class.
I wish it was easy to describe just how difficult it is to play that shot. The timing is so sweet because this outfield is slow. He's got into a great position prior. Bop. It's roared to the boundary.
Oh, that's a fast cricket ball.
We're watching from down the pitch from behind, and when it looks quick down the pitch from behind, try watching from the side like that. Plays that really well, JP Duminy, really well.
Well-timed leap by Brad Haddin. That's a wide call.
I don't think AB's too happy about that. See how high it is.
And the extra ball works for A.B. de Villiers. Just gives it a little flat back.
Easy, 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 easy.
It's another good idea of A.B. de Villiers' eye. 90 for 4.
Shot, beautiful use of the feet, and he got all of that to send it all the way for 6. Super batting by Duminy.
Real confidence boosting shot this by JP Duminy. Good use of the feet, very good execution of the lofted drive. Didn't try and hit that too hard at all, just got his weight transfer perfect. That was beautifully struck.
Shot picked up early and put away for 4. Brings up the 100.
Well, Michael Holding was talking about it earlier. What a joy to watch A.B. de Villiers bat, and this is just a classic example of this. The delivery was fractionally short, it was into position quickly, and the execution of the pull shot was perfect.
Oh dear. It's out, is it? Yes, that is an awesome catch. Absolutely fantastic catch that from Mitchell Johnson. Didn't get all of it. Duminy was undone. Didn't get to the pitch, and he thought he might have got away with it, but for that piece of fielding.
Well, the shot selection wasn't great. He hit one earlier over the top well, but the fielder was placed 3/4 of the way to the boundary. But just look at this catch. The athleticism of Mitchell Johnson.
Well, he is a proper athlete, and that was a great catch. He had to make ground as well. It wasn't that it was just about lobbing over his head. He had to make ground, had to run towards the ball, and then still had to take an acrobatic catch. JP Duminy goes for 25, 110 for 5.
Ryan McLaren has walked out to the middle. He walks in at number 7 for South Africa. 110 on the board. Australia, whilst that partnership was on, were being made to work quite hard, and felt that Duminy and de Villiers were in for the long haul. But they've been given a wicket there. Let's look at McLaren's record so far. 33 runs, 33 not out.
Solid, good shot, nicely played, great control from McLaren.
That will give Ryan McLaren a huge boost of confidence. He's come to the crease, it's been there for 11 deliveries. The 12th delivery was key. Slightly over-pitched, beautiful off-drive. Just holds the pose, and so he should. It's come off the meat of the bat. Very good shot.
I was going to say, he knew he'd hit it. It's quite a slow outfield this for this particular ground. They had a lot of rain prior to the game, so maybe they couldn't cut it as short as they wanted.
I reckon he's got him. Yeah, there's a little nick there. No, he says no. They'll go upstairs, I'm pretty sure. Oh dear. There's the question to the bowler. The skipper, is not going. He's not, is he? Is he? Oh, time's up. That's it, time's up. They've taken too long in trying to go upstairs. We're undecided, and in the end, decided against going upstairs.
Well, I was talking about turn, and there was turn there. It's an excellent decision. That hit him on the back leg, so very good umpiring.
He's bowled him straight through him. Johnson again.
Just comes back into the left-handed Ryan McLaren a fraction, but I have to say that gap that he left between bat and pad was big.
Too big, he has to go for 8. South Africa in trouble, 126 for 6.
Robin Peterson is the new man at the crease. South Africa in strife at 126 for 6. Top shot. He plays this way. Robin Peterson has driven that through covers for 4.
High risk but effective. Very first delivery that he faces on the up. Robin Peterson, no real foot movement there to speak of. So it is high risk, but this time it worked.
Oh, brings up his half century. AB de Villiers, 35th Test match half century, and it's his 9th against Australia. Needs to go on.
Coming at a very important time as well. He's played beautifully. It's almost looked like he's played against a different bowling attack on a different surface. Really has done well.
Slower. Didn't bowl a quick one. And it's hit him. Oh,
that's it. Not exactly sure where that got him. Just threw the shot a fraction too early.
It's got it away. 4 runs.
Well, he's done well there, Peterson, because the one thing he's trying to do is he's trying to get onto off stump. With Johnson coming around the wicket in at his body, he probably felt that if he got it full, that Peterson might expose his leg stump and he could knock it over. But Peterson, he middles that.
Lovely shot, will just fetch 1. And sweeping offside, Mitchell Johnson would like to bowl at Robin Peterson. thunder and lightning about. Builds up very quickly here in the high veld, and it's done just that. Just 10% chance of rain was the forecast.
I think A.B. de Villiers and Robin Peterson will be saying to Alim Dar and Richard Ellingworth, we've had some very bad incidents here in the high veld. Might be wise if we actually walk off this ground soon. There's lightning around and getting a little dark.
Oh, bowled, well played. Got under that. Comfortably wouldn't be the word to use, because it's anything but comfortable out there with Mitchell Johnson operating. Oh, well bowled. Oof. What about that for a delivery?
That was a scorcher. It was quick, it was aggressive, it was well directed.
Going off. Gents, going off.
Yep, the bails have come off. Ryan Harris quick to get to the umpire, Richard Illingworth, and put the ball in his pocket so it doesn't get wet.
So the covers come on. It's been a very good day for Australia today. They accumulated a very good total this morning, and then the bowling was excellent, particularly that man, Mitchell Johnson. He was sensational. So then Australia well on top. They got 397. They batted pretty well. We thought that that would be a good score. And South Africa at the moment, they were in trouble at 140 for 6.
We welcome you to bright sunshine at Supersport Park for the start of day 3 of this first test match of 3, South Africa versus Australia, and it's a test match so far that has been dominated by Australia after South Africa won the toss and invited them to bat, and they batted well. They got nearly 400 runs, and then it's been Mitchell Johnson who has been devastating. He was lightning quick yesterday, he was brutal, he was aggressive, he picked up 3 quick ones, he added another one later. He's got 4 for 51 at this stage, and the Lone Ranger has been A.B. de Villiers. He's 52 not out, he's played a different game, actually looked like a completely different game when he's been batting, such as the domination from Mitchell Johnson. As we look back at that card at the moment, he's got Robin Peterson with him on 10 at this stage, JP Duminy still frustrated with his 25, McLaren 8, he was the man last out bowled by Johnson. And Faf du Plessis got one of the finest deliveries you will ever see. It really was a beauty. The skipper didn't last long either. But there's confirmation. Mitchell Johnson's got 4. Nathan Lyon's done a fine job too. 1 for 23 off 11 overs. And Ryan Harris, he himself said he didn't feel great in his first spell, but came back beautifully in his second. None for 33 off 12. He was bowling close to 150 k's per hour as well. Johnson, that ball to Faf was 151. And one thing for certain, it's going to be pretty fiery out there this morning. Australia will be pumped up. The ball, yes, it's 43 overs old, but they are 140 for 6 at this stage, and they are 257 runs behind after a couple of hundreds in that Australian lineup for Marsh and also Steve Smith. So it's going to be fiery stuff. First up is going to be intense test match cricket, and Kepler Wessels is alongside me. Kepler, good morning.
Good morning, Michael. It's been excellent cricket over the last couple of days. Always exciting seeing the likes of Mitchell Johnson and Dale Steyn bowl. You just can't beat quality fast bowling in test cricket as far as excitement and enjoyment is concerned. Perhaps not saying enjoyable from a batting point of view, but certainly from a spectacle point of view, it is really good to watch. So Robin Peterson, he's got a big job to do. There's Vernon Philander in next and Dale Steyn. They can both bat as well, but South Africa need to try and occupy the crease for as long as they can today. They need to try and extend the score as far as they possibly can as well.
provide support for AB de Villiers. That's got to be the name of the game. Peterson plays a natural aggressive game for Lander as well. They might have to curb things a little bit. But they're going to have to try and get through to lunch and make sure that Australia don't get an early breakthrough. And hopefully from South Africa's perspective, it's not going to be AB de Villiers. So tough work for South Africa. Australia all over them at this stage. As I said, Johnson over 150 k's per hour. Harris at 147. Morkel at 147. It's been fiery stuff from the quicks. Good morning, Robin Peterson.
Well played as well by Robin Peterson. He watched it well, dropped his gloves, let it go through. So that was good technique. But a good first up delivery.
Sure was.
Certainly would have woken him up.
Absolutely. Opportunity to welcome Tom Moody, the Comdrox. Nice to have you back, Tom.
Thanks, Hazy. Yeah, a pretty much expected start by Mitchell Johnson. It's pretty much the tone he wants to set, and the Australians want to set early on. As we said in the pre-show, they're very keen to try to get early wickets in the first half hour.
The South Africans will know what's coming their way. They would have seen a lot of Mitchell Johnson. That really is a brute of a ball, and he's picked up a wicket nice and early. Terrific stuff from Mitchell Johnson. Robin Peterson didn't know too much about that one.
Well, that's that awkward angle Tom Moody was referring to against the left-hander in at the body. It was short, it was aggressive. Robin Peterson couldn't get the bat or the gloves out of the way, so that's the breakthrough Australia wanted first thing this morning.
It's a quick delivery right into the rib cage. Very, very difficult. If anything, you can only go under and get out of the way, but with leg slip in play, with everything in play really, batsman not established at the crease yet, trying to find his feet. It's not going to be today. Peterson goes for 10. It's 140 for 7.
So outstanding stuff from Mitchell Johnson first up. He's got another 5-wicket haul, 5 for 51 his return at this stage. Robin Peterson departing means Vernon Philander has arrived to face the music. Scored some good runs against India in the series not so long ago, but this is a completely different story. Good shot, beautiful shot, nice and straight. Mid-off was straight as well, but he's played that superbly.
He's got so much time, AB de Villiers. Magnificent weight transfer through the shot and good footwork.
Yeah, at times we've got to remind ourselves we're watching the same game here, and AB de Villiers is playing at his own level. This is a classical straight drive.
You might have heard the call for 2. Plenty of time just eased it away on the leg side. Yeah, Mitchell Johnson said after play yesterday, and he swung a couple of deliveries, not too many, but he certainly swung a couple. And he said he realised he wasn't going to get too much swing out of conditions here at SuperSport Park, so he might as well bang it in halfway and see what happened, and he was successful doing that. 150 up now for South Africa.
That's a very good setup. Small little trigger movement. Head position is good at the point of delivery.
Beautifully bowled.
Even the best can be rushed.
Just about the first time in the innings too. It was a good delivery. Came back in off the seam.
He's taking his bottom hand off the bat too, which allows him to get the bat higher and also prevents him from gloving it if it does climb a bit higher, and also saving a broken finger.
So the last thing he would want is a wrap on the hand after having that plate removed. Good shot. It's a beautiful shot. That really is high caliber from AB de Villiers to round off that over. 154 for 7.
So very good shot selection by AB de Villiers. The square cut is on. It's an attacking field placing. There's no third man or deep backward point. Just help that along its way.
Wow, that's just taken off. That really has taken off. It surprised one or two of the players out there, I think. Not the first time we've seen it go over Haddon's head for 4 byes. End of the over, 160 for 7.
Well, that took off. It was very short. But the pitch, the cracks, they're opening up. So we will see some uneven bounce.
Good shot. Beautiful shot from A.B. de Villiers. Got that away for another boundary first up.
Very good use of the feet again. A.B. de Villiers getting right back into the crease and placing this back foot drive exceptionally well.
And he's found that gap again. That's hammered away for 4.
One of the few poor deliveries we've seen Ryan Harris bowl. That was short and wide. A.B. de Villiers was never going to miss out on that. That was the cut shot this time.
Yeah, real warm-up deliveries from Ryan Harris. Just the old body is starting to creak. The knees might be a little bit stiff. Just loosening up. Just cannot afford to give any room or get too full to a player of this class.
That's brilliant. The footwork, the flourish. Fantastic cricket. A.B. de Villiers rocks on to 77.
Yeah, he does play spin very well. He's so quick down the pitch. A little bit of width that he creates. He thrashes it through the offside. It's actually just sitting here wondering how he was going to attack the spin of Nathan Lyon. He does play spin wonderfully well. He likes to be aggressive.
Probably missing leg stump.
What do you reckon? I'm asking you.
I have a hunch it's a little closer than the batsman may think it is. Yes, they're going to review it. That's interesting. Michael Clark's got a couple of reviews in the bank and he thinks, right, this partnership is threatening. Let's just have a look at this.
I think what we'll find is that it pitched in line. I think it certainly did pitch in line and straighten. Above the batsman's roll. How high was that? That looks pretty close though.
Well, I thought it was close. Where's it pitched? If it's pitched on leg stump, this could be out. No hot spot. No, he hasn't hit it.
And he's back in his crease. So the big key will be, does it pitch on line? Is it umpire's call? No, it's pitching in line, hitting him in line. I think that's going to be gone. Gone.
I thought so. I thought that was horribly close. What a review by the Australians. The third umpire will suggest to Richard Illingworth this should be overturned because all the evidence from Hawkeye is that is out. It's hit him in line between wicket and wicket. It's hitting the stumps. There's the reversal. Nathan Lyon has the breakthrough. A very important decision taken by Michael Clark. Vernon Philander must go for 15. LBW to Nathan Lyon. It's 189 for 8. South Africa have just lost their 8th wicket. Vernon Philander, LBW to Nathan Lyon after a review. Thus, Dale Steyn comes to the wicket. The follow-on is still not avoided. Not that we think that is relevant, because Michael Clark won't enforce it. We're pretty much certain about that.
There's a man there, but he'll just watch it go over him for 6. A.B. de Villiers.
Playing a completely different game of cricket, this fella, isn't he? It really is a remarkable innings, this. The confidence that he has and the sheer skill, wonderful footwork.
It was yesterday, I think, yeah, late in the day, that Michael Holding was talking about him, just watching him bat.
He's had a go at that, and he's got it away. 4 runs. 200 comes up for South Africa.
A class of his own, A.B. de Villiers. It's full. And he recognises that he's got to deal in boundaries, and then on balls number 5 and 6, he needs to try and find a single somewhere to get on to the other side to prevent Dale Steyn from having to face too many deliveries.
We are field in now with 1 ball to go. Catch is a call, and he's got him. Oh, that's a good catch. Really good catch that by David Warner. He's timed his jump to perfection and got rid of AB de Villiers.
Well, it's a pity, isn't it? Because it was the final ball of the over. You really felt that de Villiers was going to try and steal a single somewhere. But Johnson bowls a slower ball. De Villiers doesn't get enough of it. It is a good catch from David Warner at mid-off. Times his jump to perfection. But it's a wonderful innings that comes to an end. AB de Villiers, he's 4th man alone for South Africa. He goes for 91. South Africa are 202 for 9. Morne Morkel comes in last for South Africa. Best of 40. How could South Africa do with that best today?
Got him! That's him! From around the wicket, and Morkel couldn't get sufficiently behind that. Nicks it through to the keeper. A nasty delivery, and Mitchell Johnson ends with 7.
Well, he'd be pretty grumpy about having nicked this. I mean, he had every right to miss it. And then you're allowed to play and miss when you're number 11. First ball he gets, climbs on in a bit, he has a little stab at it, and he finds an outside edge. Morne Morkel makes his way off, and as H.D. Ackerman was beginning the conversation, just to get his bowling boots on and come out and bowl again. How long for? The effect that you mentioned, HD, is not necessarily in these 5 days, it's in the rest of the Test series.
He's applauded as he walks off, and rightly so. Lifts the ball to salute the crowd and his teammates as well. He certainly is their weapon, and has been potent in South Africa's first innings.
So let's have a look at how it finished in the end. Steyn not out 7. Morkel didn't get off the mark, and Johnson picked him up, but gee, there's not much there apart from the brilliance of AB de Villiers. But in the end, he scored almost half the runs. Just over 200 they got, South Africa. And Australia lead by 191. Plenty of time left in this Test match. 71 overs left in the day's play. Conditions are very good. Track has played the odd trick, nothing too extravagant at this stage. I want to see South Africa fire up here. I think they really need to step up a couple of gears to try and match what we saw from Australia. Philander to start proceedings.
Now, there's no doubt they need early breakthroughs. Chris Rogers missed out in the first innings. He'll be keen to build on what was a good Australian summer for him. Warner also an early casualty in the first innings, so he'll be very keen to get the Australians off to a good start. He's again found some terrific form. The Australian team, a healthy average of 40, 500s in the early parts of his career.
Inside edge, onto the pad. Yeah, it was interesting in the first innings. He played a couple of nice drives off Dale Steyn, a couple of boundaries in the first over. One through the cover region and one a little bit straighter. And then he tried to pull one, which wasn't short enough.
Yeah, a little bit tight, swung back at him, not short enough in length, and chopped it onto the leg stump.
He's got him, first up he's got him, chopped it on. Rogers is gone, that's a big breakthrough. That's going to do a great deal for South Africa.
Exactly the start South Africa were after. Dale Steyn, first delivery, he picks up the wicket. Rogers will be a little bit disappointed. He's gone off the ball, he could have watched go through to the keeper. It's a bit of a nothing shot, wasn't really trying to hit it hard, square of the wicket, drags it onto the off stump. he'll be very disappointed. But for South Africa, the ideal start. Dale Steyn, he's pumped. That'll get him going. He's struck already. South Africa going to try and bowl themselves back into this test match. Rogers goes for one. So Australia 1 for 1.
So Rogers has gone for one. Alex Doolan has arrived. On debut.
Yeah, very new look Australian top order with Doolan in at 3, Sean Marsh in at 4. So certainly not the card you're used to seeing on the Australian list over the past 12 months. Doolan's been around first-class cricket for a long time, averaging just short of 40. A lot of big raps in Australia, particularly from one Ricky Ponting. He comes from Tasmania. Ponting talks very highly of Doolan and his skills, his technique. He feels he's one of these players that will adjust to Test cricket.
Bit of a strategy here now from Graham Smith. Australia certainly employed that leg gully a lot with Mitchell Johnson. Smith now with Steyn around the wicket doing the same. Also a short leg in position. JP Duminy. And there's a nasty thud into the ribcage.
That's got to hurt. And in the morning he's going to know even more about it. There's going to be a big bruise there. That thudded into his ribs.
Still 100 to go. And with Dale Steyn around the wicket, bowling with this pace and accuracy, it's a long, long way away. It's never easy when the wicket suddenly becomes a little bit uneven to whether you stand up tall and play it or you duck underneath, which Doolan tried to do there.
They thought about the elbow initially, and then they thought about the catch, and in the end they're going to get nothing out of it.
Yeah, bet each way. The South Africans are sort of inquiring whether there's a little bottom edge on the way through.
It's good yards made by Faf du Plessis. Dives in front of second slip. But no danger. Good shot. Flicks it off his hip. That might go away to the boundary. Morne Moko gives chase. And he will reel it in. That's what makes Warner such a difficult customer. When you are that short and your length's just back of a length, he manages to punch it off the back foot. Leg side, offside. He's quickly onto anything that's short.
$18 for 1. That is lunch on day 3. So what an interesting session that has been this morning. It didn't take long for Australia to wrap up South Africa. And now South Africa have made some inroads, just the 1 wicket, but they've been good. They've been much better than what we saw in that first innings. So 5 wickets going down in this session. 84 runs have been scored. Warner took some time to get off the mark, and Doolan, 21 balls, he's been out there and he's on 3 at this stage. But this is all set up for a terrific afternoon of Test match cricket. It was much better intensity from South Africa at the start of this innings, but they know that they are well behind the 8 ball and have a great deal of work to do to get back into this game at the moment. So let's just have a look at what's happened so far for Australia in their second innings. Rogers just faced the 4 balls. He chopped one on from Dale Steyn. Warner not out a dozen. Doolan not out on 3 at the moment. The staff in the first innings due to come in next. Steyn has picked up the 1. Philander's been tight, and just the 1 over from Ryan McLaren as well after 7 overs. So let's have a look back at the match summary now. Just a reminder that Graham Smith won the toss, invited Australia to bat, and they did so for nearly 400 runs. A couple of centurions for Australia, and South Africa reply 206 with Johnson, magnificent, 7 for 68. David de Villiers is outstanding as well for his 91. And Australia at this stage are 18 for 1 with Steyn in that wickets column. So the bottom line at the moment is that Australia are 209 runs ahead, and they got 9 wickets in hand in the second innings at lunch on day 3.
Welcome back to Supersport Park. It is the second session of day 3 of this crucial test match between South Africa and Australia. Now the news is that Australia lead by 209 runs. They've got 9 wickets in hand, so they've had a good time of it over the initial part of this test match. With me is HD Ackerman. We'll be joined shortly by Mark Nicholas as well. But HD, your thoughts?
Yeah, Kepler, I know it sounds cliched, but I think that this is definitely the most important session of the test match for South Africa. They can't afford to wait for the afternoon one. They need to strike, and they need to strike often, because with a lead of 209, they certainly won't want to be chasing anything in excess of 400. Yes, they've done it before against quality opposition, against Australia, in fact. But this surface is a little bit different, and Mitchell Johnson is a whole different bowler from what he was a few years ago.
Well, that's the problem for the South Africans. Warner will counter-attack here. He knows that South Africa will throw things at him, and he'll throw plenty back.
Particularly when South Africa employ an attacking field placing. So this delivery was a fraction too wide. David Warner, he's not scared to throw the kitchen sink at it, but that was a well-controlled square drive.
Just extraordinary. There's a lot of power in this man.
That's a long half volley from Dale Steyn. Yes, it is a good shot. He does hit it very hard. Difficult for Graham Smith as well as a captain, understanding that he needs to take wickets, but he also doesn't want to leak too many runs too quickly.
You can get the wind up them, and that gap at extra cover might have to be filled, HD, which is your point, I think.
Yeah, I'm by no means saying that just bowled a one slip and a third man and sweepers. But it is in particular that this area, that cover.
Yes, Warner's unusual that he can score so easily off length. The best players can, but he's got strength as well as timing. So Smith has come a long way for a hardcore chat with Dale Steyn here, just to rethink the whole thing. They take almost like a timeout this in a baseball game, just to, okay, hang on. And a beautiful little touch away from Alex Doolan.
Oh, it's good balance. So Ricky Ponting, when he played well, also strong off his pads. I'll be interested to see when Morné Morkel comes into the attack, if he changes his approach, because he bowled 22 overs in the first innings. Only 9 deliveries would have hit the stumps.
35 for 1. Dale Steyn does not look happy. It's as if there's something in his quad there. I think he might be calling the physio too. I think he might need a bit of help. Dale Steyn leaves the field. Substitute fielder Dean Elgar comes on. An issue for Steyn, and that the front of that thigh of his, up near the hip. High in the air. A difficult catch. Watch the ball and drop it. Dean Elgar just come out onto the field. Against this bright sky. Whoa, what a moment here at Supersport Park.
Well, you got to feel for Dean Elgar a bit. As Mark Nicholas said, he's just come on when Dale Steyn went off. This ball was in the air for a long time. There's a bit of an indecision between Abe de Villiers and Dean Elgar, who is actually going to go for the catch. In the end, Elgar got there and got there comfortably, but just couldn't take it.
No idea what he was doing 3 minutes ago. He might have been clearing lunch away. He might have, there's a million things. He might have been running an errand, and suddenly, woof, Dale Steyn's off. On he goes, settles down at long leg. The ball is hanging in the air. South Africa are holding their breath. Oh, and what's that? Is that a little edge? Now Smith is very convinced. All except A.B. de Villiers. He's the only one who didn't overreact there. Do they review?
10 seconds.
Do they let what just happened get into their heads and force a review because they so desperately need a wicket? Someone's suggesting timeout. Smith has decided to review. They've gone beyond the 10 seconds, so the umpires are saying you can't. That's dropped at second slip. Unbearable tension at Centurion, and it's going the Australians' way.
But he can't afford to drop David Warner once, let alone twice. Will South Africa pay for the two opportunities?
Alvaro Peterson is the man at second slip.
Talking about the Warner Morkel length, so that was the natural length, that back of the length that he loves to bowl. There was steep bounce going across the left-hander, so he did everything right there.
They get a single from it. Amla with a lot of good stops to both his right and left side in the gully today. That's a brilliant stroke, a thrilling stroke.
Not a bad ball, not a bad length. It's just everything about the shot of David Warner.
Lovely off driving now. This is the full gamut from Warner. 50 arrives for the Australians, 52 for 1.
Just two lengths at the moment, Morne Morkel. He's either short and trying to ruffle up the Australians, or too full. That's a wonderful stroke. Didn't try and hit it too hard, just punched it. Mid-off, didn't even move.
That's through the gap. Just two slips. And it's 4 runs. It's a good delivery. Another one of those full ones brought Warner forward, and the edge brings 4. 250 lead.
The problem is because he has not been bowling that length on a regular basis. His captain hasn't given him the fielder. 2 slips on the gully. He was bowling that length on a regular basis. He would need all these fielders out in the deep. Fine leg, deep backward, square leg, man on the point boundary. You could afford then to have more slip fielders. And although that wouldn't have carried into the slip as a catch, at least it would not be 4 runs. The captain is in a bit of a quandary because of the length that he has been bowling consistently.
Shot. Beautiful shot. All timing, and he's placed it perfectly as well in front of point. Brings up an 11th Test match 50. It's his first half century against South Africa. He has 100 to his name against this opposition. He's played well here despite the couple of chances he's given.
He's a short man as Warner, which can sometimes make it difficult to find the right length to him, because if you're just fractionally short, he's onto it in a flash. Look at that. He's so strong square of the wicket, and he cashes in and brings about a well-deserved 50.
That'll make him feel a lot better, that's for sure. So that's 54 balls he's now faced in this innings. He faced 51 deliveries in the first innings. Didn't kick on then, he'll be hoping he can now.
Yeah, albeit that he's got himself bogged down, there's no doubt about that, and that'll help him, you know, on his way for the rest of however long this innings is going to be. But he's still done a job, as Tom was saying. As soon as the hardness goes out of that ball, he came in the second over of the innings, so he's done a job while Warner's kept things ticking along the other end.
Smith. Cries of catcher, but it's gone over the top. Advancing down the track, they're going to look to attack wherever they can against Peterson, so he doesn't settle.
Well, it's been a strategy by the Australians really ever since Darren Lehmann as coach has taken the position. He's asked his batsmen to take on the spin bowlers. They took on Graham Swan in the last Ashes series and won that battle. He was a major threat to the Australians. A lot of talk about Swan to left-handed batsmen. That suddenly came out of the equation because they took him on.
Flighted as well and hammered through the covers this time for 4. So that's 2 balls that have gone to the boundary. In the end, it's 9 runs from that over, 80 for 1.
Well, this is just the start that Robbie Peterson did not want. As Tom Moody said, the Australians didn't only... they said they were going to target him. They made it public. Doesn't come as a big surprise.
Now that's just taken off a fraction. It's been dropped. That certainly hit a crack. That's definitely hit something and taken off. Got an edge, and Graham Smith has put that down.
South Africa's catching has not been great. Strangely enough, of the catches that have been on offer, none have been straight. Well, one has been pretty straightforward, the one at fine leg that we showed you just now. That's a tremendous effort from him. He nearly got it. The second grab. So they've been half chances, but half chances when they're caught, they're invariably caught by the winning team.
And what happens in this situation, as that goes down towards a third-man fence, is that things start to get a bit of flat out in the middle as well. So that's run away for a boundary. Is a bit short and wide. South Africans are looking a little bit despondent at the moment. Not hearing too much encouragement from respective players. It's gone down towards the vacant third-man region. Faf du Plessis is going to chase that, but no, it's beaten him, so another boundary.
Well, there's certainly a little bit extra bounce just outside the off stump for the left-hander. Seen Warner edge a couple that have gone to hand. This one again just bouncing a little bit. A loose shot, Warner not really getting across and covering his off stump, getting behind it, just opening the face and pushing out at it. It's hard to say he's intentionally run that down.
Over the top, short ball, worked over the top by Warner. That's beautifully played in the end for 4.
Brought up the 100 partnership too. And it's a shot you don't tend to see a lot in Test cricket. Yes, you see it when the players are in coloured clothes, but Warner has played that beautifully, watched it right onto the bat, just lifted it over second slip. And, that's a valuable partnership again by this pair.
Unless you're Adam Gilchrist, I suppose, Tom. Remember a couple of beauties that he played a few years ago. It's nice and fine, and that's gone for 4. The runs are coming quite nicely now for Australia. 9 runs off that over as well. 108 for 1.
Well, that's a good hit by any standards anywhere. Thanks for coming.
David Warner, what he does best. Terrific strike. He's had a little bit of luck in this innings, but he's so dangerous.
Well, it's just the most magnificent contact.
No third man. That will go all the way. The headlines in the Jamaica Gleaner the next day was "Snow falls in Jamaica."
Ian Healy played well in the end. That's beautifully struck.
Well, that was a famous test, wasn't it? I have a suspicion that Mark Waugh's 100 in the second innings and then Ian Healy at the end did great things to see the Australians home.
Jeff Marsh, father of Sean Marsh, was the coach. He kept walking around and around St George's Park. Couldn't bear watching in the closing stages.
Warner gives it everything.
Good Rob.
A very powerful man. Second six for David Warner. Rollicking along, he has 89.
Not the smallest boundary in the world in that direction either, but he had enough confidence in himself to know that he would clear it. I wouldn't actually say that came out of the middle of the bat either, but the trees that they bat with these days, the ball will still travel.
The figures in the game then: Australia 397 and now 147 for 1 against South Africa's 206. South Africa knocked over by a devastating performance from Mitchell Johnson, 7 for 68. 2 wickets for Nathan Lyon, proving the value of having a slow bowler who at least can contain and pose a few problems of his own. The Australians lead by 338.
Chopped into the covers, and that's got past Faf du Plessis. So all the pressure that was built has been slightly released. They have come back for the second.
That's the intensity part we're talking about. They've got to back it up, and it brings up
50 for Alex Doolan on debut. 27 in the first knock, 50 now in the second. Good stuff from him. Warner is. That is a fine stroke through the covers.
Welcome back to the attack, Morne Morkel. It's a smashing shot. It's a little bit short in length, a bit of a loosener. The execution of the shot, superb. So strong square of the wicket is Dave Warner, and there's another prime example.
That's worth a shot, that's for sure. The South Africans like that one. Did it pitch outside the line of leg stump? Out. Morne Morkel is striding down towards Graham Smith. They got timed out last time. That's all it could possibly be. They have sent it upstairs to TV umpire Ian Gould. Outside the line of leg stump, and everyone here at Supersport Park watching that on the big screen are a little bit shocked. Big sigh at the end.
Yeah, it was great. They were willing it to get onto the blue strip. They were going, come on, ball.
They've been nearly pushing that strip across, aren't they?
They were all cheering when they saw the replays, screaming and cheering and saying that's out, and then suddenly when we saw the forensics from Hawkeye.
Good decision, Alim Dar.
Absolutely. He's punched that through the covers, and he's picked up another 100. That is brilliant stuff from David Warner. Yes, he's had some luck, but he's made them pay. Another test 100 for David Warner. He really has played sharply. It's been a sparkling knock. 118 deliveries, 13 fours and a couple of sixes, and he's got a broad grin.
Well, number 6 for David Warner. He really is in some terrific form. The last 12 months has been a very good 12 months for Warner. He's come back into this side and he's shown that he's got character and he's got some class. He's talked at the beginning of the series and he's backed that up with runs on the board.
After missing out in the first innings as well, so it would have been important for him to make sure he capitalised in the second after all those comments, but he's played superbly.
There've been 2 minutes of mixed emotions. Initially might have thought, oh no, I'm out on 97. The decision goes his way. That went upstairs. The next delivery crashes through the covers to the boundary, and the elation of going to another test 100. Well played, David Warner.
It's gone away for another boundary. Just a little bit too wide that time. Chopped for 4.
Yeah, Doolan looks very comfortable in this area when it's short of length. It's a bit of width on offer. It's a good square of the wicket. Seems like he's got a lot of time. Here's an example. Just allows it to come to him, places him behind square. Du Plessis makes an effort. Doesn't manage to get hold of it. But really does look in control of this.
just sliding down the leg side. Mornay liked it. AB liked it. So did Graham Smith. But it looks like they're not going to send it upstairs to Ian Gould.
I think just nipped back too much.
They have decided to go upstairs at the last minute.
And this is a brave call. First up, it definitely looked like it was darting down the leg side.
The original call is not out. Ends up being umpire's call. South Africa have lost all their reviews. So that remains not out.
Another good decision by Alim Dar.
It's gone fine and it's gone for 4.
Philander continued to use this short approach, this time against Doolan. He goes on the hook. It's in the air for a long time, but he looked like he was in control, even though it probably didn't go where he ideally desired.
David.
A little bit of a top edge. And fine legs pretty square, no danger. Closes the eyes, as you can see, makes contact with the top edge. And it goes nice and fine, falls safely.
Oh, that's a fine drive. That really is nicely played. Beautifully controlled through extra cover for 4.
And this is a quality shot. It almost goes as far as to say it's the best one he's played today. It's not a half volley. Yes, it is over pitched, but he's caressed it through the covers. Gets into a really good position, fullish in length, and just hits it on the up. Lovely extension of the arms. His placement is perfect.
Nobody's going to catch that, despite the shouts of catch it. A couple of bounces and over the rope for 4. Doolan in on the action now. Tough shot. Got to the pitch, got all of it. Doolan and he's got it away for 6. To end the over. 197 for 1. Oh, catch was the call, and it's evaded AB de Villiers. It's leg buys, though. 4 of them. Got him. Went straight on, he played for the turn, and it's found the edge. And Graham Smith takes a smart catch.
Difficult at times with standing and slip all day and nothing happening, and then when it does come you hold on. It takes great concentration. Great knock though. Australia 206 for 2.
Wonderful innings from David Warner. Rich entertainment for the Supersport Park crowd. Yes, there were some chances, 2 half chances that were put down, and one that South Africa would have expected to take. But that's David Warner, what he's expected to do from Australia. When they're on top, he takes the game away from the opposition, and he does so in emphatic style.
It might just be coincidence as we watch the century maker from the first innings Marsh get to the crease, but just the last couple overs, last 3 overs or so, we have seen Graham Smith think out the field, moving around the field a bit, putting some fielders in some unorthodox positions, having 6-3 field, 6 on the onside, and even when his fast bowler Dale Steyn was bowling, a 5-4 field with 5 on the onside, just doing something different, and he has taken a wicket.
That's good stroke. That's picked the gap and was hit really, really well controlled, actually. He sort of swiveled with the stroke, hit down on it. 218 for 2. Now a little shimmy of the feet, and he picks the gap at mid-wicket. And does he get all of it? Yep, he gets all of it.
They're so quick to get down the wicket. He's allowed the ball to be released before he made his move, and then he was fast.
He's got him. He's got him. Slid across from around the wicket, JP Duminy. And he throws his head back. Doolan doesn't get to that 100. So close.
Doolan goes back to cut it, gets the outside edge. Good catch. Well, de Villiers, they're never easy when you're up to the stumps, and unfortunately for Doolan, a wonderful vigil has come to an end. He played superbly well. He goes for 89. Australia 2-4-3 for 3.
He is quickly out to the middle, the Australian captain, Michael Clark. Very good record. He's a good player, very good player.
Jackson.
A miss hit for 4. 250 up.
Showing some clear intent is Michael Clark down the wicket. He's only been there for just 4 deliveries before this one. Great use of the feet. Gives himself a little bit of room. Just punches it over the top.
Or sweep a full toss for 4 when it's presented.
That's what he's so good at. He judges the line, the length, and latches on anything loose. This one from Peterson over pitch, full toss.
Now that's bounced a little bit. Again, something off a crack. There's a couple of spots there. We've been talking a bit about it. It's gone away for another boundary. It's going to make some of the batsmen just think a little bit harder about the work they're going to have to do against some of the Australian seamers. Yeah, I think what I'm oh, there's that. There's your favourite spot, boys. There it is. HD, Michael, take over.
That was a good shot down the third man, wasn't it? I know I'm biased. I know I was a fast bowler, but I hate to see people getting edges and being rewarded with boundaries. Come on.
Oh.
2 runs from that over. 600 correction, 288 for 3 it is. Feels like a few more. And that is stumps on day 3. What a terrific day for Australia. They'll be very pleased with this performance. Getting the last 4 wickets early today. There's Luke, he's waving that Australian flag as he does so often around the world. And they can be extremely pleased with that. Let's have a look at the run rate in this session, over 4. So that's impressive stuff. And just losing a couple of wickets. So really good stuff again from Sean Marsh. He finishes after a good knock. The skipper's there as well, and the South Africans will certainly be feeling it.
Australia certainly in a fantastic position. Rogers went very, very early, but that didn't hamper their progress at all. Warner and Doolan had that fantastic partnership. Warner 115, and Marsh and Clark now having this partnership together of 45, and quite a bit more batting possible tomorrow.
Well, bowling figures never easy to walk onto the field and try and bowl when the lead is 191. Philander wicketless, Steyn 1. He got better as the day went on. McLaren wicketless, Morkel bowled a useful opening spell where there was catches put down off him. Peterson 1 and Duminy 1, but South Africa, they staring down the barrel.
Okay, so let's have a look back at the summary of this first test match at Stumps on day 3. Australia being invited to bat by Graham Smith after he won the toss, 397, a couple of centurions there, Marsh and also Smith. Steyn wasn't well, but he still picked up 4 wickets. South African reply, 206. De Villiers, magnificent for 91. Johnson was absolutely sensational, 7 for 68. And Australian reply now sitting pretty, 288 for 3. Warner got another 100, and South Africa are certainly struggling. And Australia are 479 runs ahead at Stumps on day 3.
It is hitting the stumps. There's the reversal. Nathan Lyon has the breakthrough.
Catches a call and he's got him.
7 for 68.
Well bowled.
He's applauded as he walks off, and rightly so.
Watch the ball. dropped at second slip.
Now that's just taken off a fraction, it's been dropped.
Well, that's a good hit by any standards anywhere. Thanks for coming.
He's punched that through the covers, and he's picked up another 100. That is brilliant stuff from David Warner. Yes, he's had some luck, but he's made them pay.
It's South Africa against Australia, the first Sunfoil Test match, day number 4, live to you from Supersport Park. Now look at the teams arriving once again as we go through each day, different emotions for either side because of what's gone on the days of play. They come back trying to rectify things or trying to assert their position. For Australia, very much the case, in the lead, in the driving seat, and looking to push it home.
It's another magnificent day at Supersport Park for the start of day 4 of this first of 3 test matches, South Africa versus Australia. And it's a test match that has been totally dominated by the visitors at this stage. They are in a commanding position, and today is all about how long it's going to take before they do declare, because South Africa are up against it. The South African top order batsmen will be thinking already about the task ahead and how many overs are going to have to get through for the rest of this test match to try and save it. Graeme Smith has had so much on his mind throughout this test match, of course, his own form, the captaincy, and most of all he's probably thinking about what he did at the toss, I guess, and how things might have been a little bit different. Good to see the crowd in, sold out today at Supersport Park. That's great news, and the forecast is beautiful. It's going to be about 30 degrees again, and also expecting the chance of a bit of a thunder shower later on. But what a day ahead of us. Alongside me I've got H.D. Ackerman and also Michael Holding as we look at the match summary, and it just tells us straight away that Australia have been totally dominant. Michael?
Yes, everything has gone Australia's way. Just like to say hello to everyone around the world watching this broadcast. Bright sunny day again, and a few more people in the ground, and South Africa certainly will be hoping that the crowd can inspire them to some better performances. First of all, with the ball, they don't want Australia to get these runs that they'll be looking for to declare too quickly. And then secondly, with the bat, when it's their turn at the crease.
He's nicked that in his corner. Goldstein has struck. He's picked up a wicket early on day 4. He's pretty pumped up about a good grab by Avi de Villiers. It is the end of another good knock from Shaun Marsh, and South Africa certainly needed that.
Well, let's have a look at this. The length again is so important. A much fuller length than they have been doing on so many occasions. But of course, Dale Steyn does tend to pitch the ball up a bit further than Morne Morkel, but that's a length that Morne Morkel also wants to be trying to hit. These batsmen are not going to be coming forward too often. Good line, good length, and a wicket produced. Shaun Marsh goes for 44, 290 for 4 Australia. Interestingly enough, he's not the only one going off. They're all going off. Michael Clarke has decided that's enough.
Well, they like to do things a little bit different and surprise the opposition. So this is fascinating. Michael Clarke has said a lead of 481 is enough. Let's call them in now. They've obviously looked at the stats, looked at the record. They might have looked at that first over as well from Morne Morkel and said, let's get our boys out there now with that new ball. As Africans have been saying that it's going to be a new ball game this second innings, and that's when Mitchell Johnson in particular is going to be at his most potent. But they called him in, Michael Clarke. Right, so let's just have a look at where we are in this first of 3 test matches. Australia winning the correction, South Africa, and this is an important point, winning the toss and asking Australia to bat. They nearly got 400. In reply, South Africa over 200 just, and Australia nearly 300 for 4 declared, and South Africa need 482 runs to win, and we've got so many overs left in the day's play, some 80 odd overs left in the day's play today. So this is going to be interesting. Really is going to be fascinating. You're not going to miss what's going to be happening shortly with Mitchell Johnson firing up.
Whoa. There's nothing that Brad Hadding can do about that. His figures are saved by the fact that Alim Dar calls wide.
To be fairly philosophical as a wicketkeeper in this particular game, so many are bouncing over their heads and going for 4 byes. There's a look at a very strong action. It's one of the better ways of describing it. That's why it's a wide. It's about 4 foot over the top.
Edged it, he has got him! Johnson strikes. And Alviro's difficult match is over.
Mitchell Johnson goes to 250 test wickets. He was superb in the first innings. He's just taken 5 deliveries to get going once again in the second. Exactly the start Australia would have been after, and not what Alviro Peterson wanted. It's a decent length. He had to play at it, in and around the top of off stump. Gets the outside edge. Comfortable catch for Haddon. Unfortunately for Peterson, he fails again. South Africa have lost their first. Mitchell Johnson, he's ecstatic. He's got Australia off to the start. Alviro Peterson, he has to go. 4-1, South Africa 6-1.
And there's good news for Mitchell Johnson. 250 test match wickets. We just showed the table. It showed him on 249, one ahead of Richie Benaud. He's the 4th fastest Australian to that figure. 50 incidentally now against South Africa too. 3 remarkable bowlers have got there quicker than Johnson: Dennis Lilly, Glenn McGrath and Shane Warne, and they're the only to have done so. Oh, what a good first delivery, and brilliantly handled.
Handled almost being the word. 6 for 1. Wow, what a snorter to get right up front.
Yeah, the tone has certainly been set for the second innings. There's no doubt about that. Short, gets between the gloves. I think hits him straight on the helmet. As you can see it thrown back. If he wasn't ready for the battle, he better be now. It's a serious delivery. He's probably just very grateful that he's still there, because he could have easily gloved it, gone up and been taken in the slip cordon.
You can see in the background a bit of concern from Michael Clark. Oh, straight. A little touch on the gloves, Hotspot proves that, and then straight full on that visor. Well played by Graham Smith. It runs off the face of the pad, and opening batsmen deserve those. With that new ball coming onto you, you have to use the pace of it. You get some thick edge and some full face stuff, but third man's a handy place for you.
The crowd are ecstatic. They've got right behind Graham Smith after this delivery. Doesn't push too hard at it, just allows the bat to be presented. Finds the outside edge. Goes down to ground, so no danger. And beats the squarish gully away to the boundary.
Oh, what a touch! You wouldn't believe it! You would not believe it! Neither does Graham Smith.
Think of all the thought process that he would have been through. The last one he would have thought of being dismissed would have been caught short leg, flicking it off his legs. But it's a wonderful catch by the short leg. Here you can see Graham Smith. He cannot believe that he's middle delivery from Mitchell Johnson, and it's been snapped up at short leg. Full in length, probably sliding down to the leg stump. And he's hit it. And there the positioning, you've got to give him credit for that. It's behind square, straight in the breadbasket. Up it goes, and look how happy that slip cordon is. The second South African wicket is down.
It's Alex Doolan, the catcher. Alex Doolan on debut, made runs in both innings, and now pulls off an exceptional catch. Have a look at his body that never moves. We'll show it again in a minute. Smith's gone, it's 12 for 2. Faf du Plessis. He might average 56 now. He'll be thinking about nothing else except that ball he got in the first innings. Can he put that out of his head, clear the traffic, deal with this delivery, isolate it? Well, he gets off strike, which frankly is what I'm sure he was searching for.
Taking a blow on the right hand by the looks of things.
Nicely played. And he got all of it too, right out of the screws.
Just sliding down the leg side, gives the crowd something to cheer about. It's a good crowd in here. The South Africans have just had to watch as Mitchell Johnson has taken centre stage. Have a look here, just sliding down. Good weight transference, just flicks it through the leg side. That'll give Faf du Plessis a little bit of confidence.
Pull stroke also goes to the square leg boundary, or the leg side boundary.
he's not quite settling into his length as yet. He adjusts, but over-adjusts on this occasion. Drags it down, du Plessis onto it quickly. Rolls the wrists, full control, behind square. No one's going to stop that.
Oh, close. Was it back though? Yeah, it wasn't, says Elim Dar. Leg buys for 4. All action when this man is bowling.
Certainly is. Started brilliantly again, Mitchell Johnson. Got the early breakthroughs that Australia wanted. Now it's down leg side off the thigh pad.
Nicely played. What a beautiful shot that is. 4 runs. It's Amla at his best. Yes, sir. 4 runs. 33 for 2.
Another beautiful shot off the back foot, just so quick with those hands. No chance for the fielder at cover point. Pure class.
In the air, and it evades 4th slip. It'll go for 4 as well.
A little bit of luck there for Faf du Plessis off the outside edge. Plenty of slips in that cordon as well, so that really could have gone anywhere. It was in the air for a while.
Another beautiful shot through the covers in front of point this time from Hashim Amla.
3 in a row in that area. It's been very strong off that back foot through the offside this morning. 2 of Mitchell Johnson prior to this one, and that was beautifully played as well.
That's the point of bowling straight. Nothing that Faf du Plessis could do. The ball shooting through agonisingly low, and Australia's tactic is rewarded.
He did get the feeling that today, if something does misbehave, there was a chance it would bring about a dismissal, and it's done exactly that for Faf du Plessis. It's died on him, not much he can do. He's looking for the ball to come through, probably waist high. It's just died, nip back, going on to hit the stumps. From wide on the crease this time, Siddle. There you see it hits it, nip back. Was the contact just close on off stump? It's tight, but it goes in his favour. He picks up the 3rd South African wicket. There you can see how low down on the pad it's hit, underneath where the bat was. An umpire's call. So good decision. Ends up hitting the off stump. Faf du Plessis has to be on his way. South Africa 49 for 3.
Baby de Villiers, the class act in the first innings, and he takes guard here with South Africa in dire straits. 49 for 3. Set to 482 to win the game. It's a horrendous situation in which they find themselves, but this man is not only has a fine record, but is acknowledged as being amongst the best in the world. He's number 1 in the world rankings comfortably. Stroke. It's a half stop by Ryan Harris. It's another example of that remarkable ability to time the ball from Amla. Just to the extension of your point, Mikey, about Faf du Plessis being pretty unlucky in how hard he fought. Just think of his 2 dismissals in the match. Complete extreme opposites of one another. First innings, unplayable extra bounce. Really, I mean, first up, no chance. Second innings, unplayable low bounce. Faf, don't worry about it. Go away and come ready for PE. Incredible stroke play off the back foot today from Hashim Amla. Very few people around consistently hit those areas through the covers of just about any length.
Yeah, we've seen some great punch shots off the back foot by Hashim Amla. Another great example. He grew up in Durban. That's where he made his first-class debut, and there's plenty of bounce there, and you play off the back foot quite often. So he's learned well. It's ingrained in him. Off the middle of the bat, gets into a wonderful position, just able to punch it.
Has got a better mind than that and greater skill.
Yes, it is a quality shot. You did hear some oohs and ahs after the ball met the bat of A.B. de Villiers. Because what they've done is they've opened up point. So if he wants to play it square, that's fine, because there's still two slips in the gully in place. But when it comes off the middle of A.B. de Villiers' bat, there's no real worries. Just opens the face, knows there's no one square there, picks himself up a boundary. So good tactics, but you're coming up against a class batsman.
Newmarket. Oh, he got away with it, did Amla. You need a bit of luck, and he's just had his bit.
You do indeed. You're going to get the odd one that keeps a little bit low, and this one has done exactly that. Hashim Amla going in the booming drive. It dives on him, beats him on the inside of his bat. Here we have a look at it. Pitches, stays low, beats him on the inside, but misses the stumps. Bounces well short of head, and he unfortunately can't gather it.
Oh, tremendous display from Hashim Amla. As lunch is called by the umpires, he remains unbeaten on 22. Faced 48 balls, hit 4 boundaries, and he's met everything thrown at him with great fortitude and a straight bat. So a good crowd have seen a morning of an absorbing morning, you'd call it, rather than an exhilarating morning. Amla's unbeaten with 22, de Villiers with 4, Duminy, McLaren, Peterson, Philander, Steyn and Morkel, those to come, 65 for 3. And then 2 wickets for Mitchell Johnson, 2 for 27, 1 for 15 for Peter Siddle. Ryan Harris yet to quite hit his straps.
Nice and fine. It's going to run away for 4.
Staying down the leg side, a fraction. Peter Siddle. A.B. de Villiers throughout this test match has been very well balanced. He maximised every scoring opportunity just about that he's got, and this one is no exception.
Gee, his form was remarkable. I think that he's been on the sidelines for a long while. Only had a couple of nets, a centre wicket practice as well. Beautiful shot. That is a magnificent stroke from A.B.
This is all about the balance of A.B. de Villiers. So often we see batsmen working this through mid-wicket as their head just falls slightly over. But de Villiers, it's the perfect on drive.
And how simple does he make this look? What a punch. What a magnificent punch.
Well, it doesn't get better than this. This is why he's one of the very best in the world.
This is such a lovely illustration of hitting the ball late, but even in an attacking stroke, the ball comes, it's virtually in line with him, and he just times it. It's a punch. No big flourish, and it's hit as hard as any ball's been hit today.
A bit shorter this time from Mitchell Johnson, and beautifully ridden by A.B. Just a prime example, guys, those last couple of shots. The second was a defensive, the first was out of the top drawer. But again, he is so talented, this bloke. He has more time than most. Look at that. Not rushed at all. Everyone else has been scrambling around the place. There's an edge and he's got away with that. It's gone over the top of first slip and raced away very quickly for 4.
That's a real loosener, that one. Rashid Mamla went pretty hard at it. Came off a thick top edge.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time, a couple of deliveries into the first over back for Ryan Harris to get that body going.
Got him! He's gone for one outside the off stump. Rashid Mamla crashed a few through the offside, and this time it's off the edge. Harris gets one.
Superb bowling. Harris is always there or thereabouts, probing away with good pace. At a difficult length, and this is just a little bit wide of off stump. Wasn't short enough to play that classical back drive that we've seen Amla play successfully in this innings. It was a bit fuller. It just straightened off the seam and presented a good catch to Marsh at first slip. The end of a bright and breezy 35 from Amla. It's 97 for 4.
South Africa reeling at 97 for 4. It's JP Duminy who walks out to the middle. He played well for 25 in the first innings. As I look at his record, he'd like that average to get up. 205.50. South Africa wouldn't mind that 166 right now. Oh, big shot, huge shot. Nothing doing from umpire Alim Dar. Question is whether it pitched in line or not.
That is the big question. Height was not an issue. It hit the middle of the pad. It was a foolish delivery. This gives us an indication whether may have been a little inside edge there. So it looks like that ball's deviated after it's passed the bat, so there may well be an inside edge. Hotspot will give this away. There it is.
It's big too. Didn't hear too much in my ear. Good chat from umpire Ian Gould, and referring the information back down, said brilliant decision, stick with it please. That was because of the inside edge. Wicket maiden for Harris, 97 for 4.
Did pitch on, so he was in trouble if he didn't nick it. Cool, that looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, other than hitting the cover off it, it was fine.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
It's nicely played, right up on the toes. Won't mind though, Harris, that he's playing at that. And South Africa bring up 100. 101 for 4.
Only 3 overs from Siddle in this spell, and Clark made it plain to his bowlers this morning that he wanted his front 3 bowlers 3 and 4 over spells. Ideally, maybe a 5 if they were really going well, but ideally 3 and 4 overs to save themselves to be maximum for those short spells.
If they can keep just ticking things over, these two, Duminy and Abby de Villiers, there's obvious advantages in making the bowlers continually change their line. Pardon the pun. Goodness me, that's another fine catch. That is amazing stuff from Alex Doolan. He is exceptional in that region. The crowd here at Supersport Park is stunned. JP Duminy is also stunned. That is outstanding.
Well, Johnson's got 3. But I tell you what, Alex Doolan, they should go next. Two of them should go next to his name, because these have been sensational catches for a man fielding at short leg. Again, that is just wonderful.
Well, absolutely. It's the second one. This one probably even better. He was closer this time than he was earlier today when he caught Graham Smith so brilliantly. That one went up in the air and he caught it on the second attempt. I fielded there for a long time myself, and that is not easy to do. You're actually there to try and catch a ball that comes off a bat pad, but to catch it off the full face of the bat like that takes some doing.
JP Duminy departs for 10. South Africa now in a lot of trouble. 128 for 5. Short in the mid-wicket region. Oh, that's nasty. Goodness me, that's a nasty blow. That is not good at all. Ryan McLaren has taken a shocking blow here. The Australian players have gone to him straight away. They've signalled to the change room also to get the medical staff out straight away. Wow, that is horrible to see.
Yeah, that was sickening. Didn't like that at all. The sound of that, the impact, that really wasn't good. A well-directed short delivery. He played the previous one beautifully. This time Mitchell Johnson went over the wicket and was straight in at the body at Ryan McLaren's head.
It's Brandon Jackson rushing out straight away. Obviously a bit of a split around the ear area. To see the Australian players there straight away and offering as much assistance as they possibly can. And now the South African medical team have arrived.
You know that the bouncer is used as a form of intimidation, and if a batsman gets hit, well, it's the nature of the game. It's a cracking delivery from Mitchell Johnson and hits him on the right ear. But in saying that, when a batsman does get hit, there is no player in the opposition side that wants to see damage done to the player that has been hit.
Well, thank goodness for helmets. Not much Ryan McLaren could do there. That was such a good and well-directed bouncer. Did the right thing to get his gloves out of the way. He just couldn't sway or go underneath it quickly enough.
Village uses his feet well this time. Gets to the pitch, and this time he goes offside. Executes it well and places it perfectly.
Quite an exhilarating stroke that he's developed when he comes down the pitch. Watch his back leg. It sort of flies, doesn't it? It's something that Kevin Peterson took a stage further, actually, to a flamingo type look in his stroke play. It's quite something. Oh, what a take! There was a noise. Absolutely, definitely. The Australians heard a noise, and there was a noise on the stump microphone. Now, what it was, none of us can be sure. I'd be surprised if Hans could get as near to that bounce as the Australians suspect.
Well, I think the noise was his heart jumping out of his chest. That just took off at great pace. Nasty, nasty delivery again from Mitchell Johnson.
And the Australians are going to review it. It isn't a no ball. That's the first thing. What are we going to find out here? Hands are away from the body, so we should get a clue. Does that clip his under his arm, maybe under his bicep?
Yeah, I definitely think it's under the arm, off the bicep.
Can we see anything on hotspot? Is there something on the top of the wrist? No, it doesn't look as if there is. That's inconclusive. They can't possibly give that out. Nothing, no, nothing much on Snicko either. So it might have been a There, maybe there. Just a clip of that fleshy part of the underarm.
Oh, nasty stinger.
No kidding. Like the strike of a boomslang.
Well, to be honest with you, I'd rather get one there than where he got one before tee, right in the side of the head.
That's brilliant from Johnson. One's turned down and he has a response. Too quick, too good, 6 down.
Quality bowling here by Mitchell Johnson. He's banged it in short 2 deliveries in a row. One that was reviewed upstairs and not out. The following delivery, he bangs it in again. This time it's on the offside. It takes the glove through to Haddon for an easy catch. And Mitchell Johnson strikes again. It's been a torrid time for Ryan McLaren, being hit on the helmet. Now he finds his glove. Mitchell Johnson's 11th wicket for the test match. Ryan McLaren has to go. He goes for 6. South Africa 140 for 6.
The fallout from the Mitchell Johnson effect is quite something. England beaten 5-0 after brilliant performances match after match by Johnson. Now South Africa on the floor and almost out for the count. Robin Peterson comes to take guard. 4 in the slip region, a short leg and a leg slip. A square leg, a cover, the only man in front of square. Well, the square leg's just in front of square. And that's high and over the slips. And Peterson gets away with what McLaren couldn't quite get away with.
It's another delivery at an uncomfortable height for Robin Peterson. You saw him get out in the first innings to a similar kind of delivery. This time it finds the bat and flies over the slips. It's another fast quality delivery. Good effort in the slip cordon. Fortunately, just couldn't get high enough. You see, comes off the edge of the bat. Three quality deliveries at express pace.
That's quite a stroke for a single. He played one in the first innings. He played a drive off the back foot wide of mid-on, and that must surely rank amongst the finest strokes you'll ever see. And he's pulled off something that's a sort of a whip pull.
Let's have a look at the speed gun. That's 145 kilometers per hour, and he's just whipped it through mid-wicket.
Oh, he's caught it! A short extra cover. And A.B. de Villiers, not dissimilarly from the way he went in the first innings, has to go. A real sadness around the ground.
Yeah, for the second time in this test match, the slower delivery, the cutter, has got rid of A.B. de Villiers. Not too sure why he was looking to go over the top. He's been in such good touch and looking so comfortable. It's a slower delivery, he goes hard, and a quality catch. Smith it is, he's taken it at short cover. South Africa have now lost their 7th wicket. De Villiers, he played a wonderful innings of 48, but he has to go. South Africa 151 for 7.
Vernon Philander makes his way to the middle, gets a fist pump from Robin Peterson, but surely they must know that the end is nigh and what's ahead of them isn't necessarily pleasant. 12th 5-wicket haul in Test cricket for Mitchell Johnson, and he's now gone to his career best figures. He picked up 11 in the Test match in Perth against the South Africans back in 2009. He now has a 12-wicket haul, so his best figures is Vernon Philander. Beautiful straight drive. It's a whole lot easier down that end.
Oh yes, and that's certainly nothing against Siddle, but it is a completely different ball game. Siddle, a very, very fine bowler, but this is pretty much a warm-up delivery. Too full. Peterson just latching on to any opportunity to score.
Wonderful stroke play. That's what we see this guy do. Actually, he's done it in one-day cricket. We've seen him do it in Test match cricket.
This is when he's at his best, Robin Peterson, when he's playing his shots. Good punch off the back foot this time round. Just opens the face so it goes nice and square.
first, but he got one to go straight along the deck. I mean, it's impossible to play that ball. Faf du Plessis found that out earlier, and Peter Siddle's excellent straight control wins the day.
He couldn't bowl another short delivery, so he gets it fuller and gets the result he's after. As you can see, it hits the turf, stays down, and his middle stump is sent flying. Siddle really enjoys that. Peterson was a brief innings, showed some flair, but he's got to go for 21. South Africa now 165 for 8.
This is Dale Steyn coming out to the middle. Get the target. It's now about Australia wrapping up the game imminently. Johnson now to Philander. How often have we seen that? Brad had him flying like a salmon through the air, but unable to clasp the ball.
Now this may sound a little odd. Well, this is the dismissal. The one just... 2 bounces followed up with a good length ball. Should have bounced about bail height, but hit the near on the base of the middle stump. Look at that, you've got no show. What I was going to touch on is that you just wonder whether there's a rule or a flag you can wave. Mercy, wave the flag, because the likes of Dale Steyn, you just do not want to get injured.
Yeah, there's another frighteningly quick ball directed at the rib cage, and another example of Johnson's impact. And there's no sense of tiredness. He hasn't bowled that many overs. This is his 16th. He's enormously fit and strong. Whoa, look at that. We saw an amazing one in the Ashes when Michael Carberry's bat, but the actual wood split. Not down the middle of the bat, but across the top. Not the handle. Not the splice, but actually the bat. Now this is the splice that goes. And the base of the handle. It's remarkable. Vernon's just worked it out and is signalling for a new one.
Well, he should be thankful it wasn't his finger.
Here's Ryan Harris. That'll go for 4, short, wide and cut away.
Bit of a loosener there from Ryan Harris. We see that from him often early on in a spell. When he comes on, it takes a while to get warmed up.
And you certainly want to be making full use of those bad deliveries when they do come. Runs have not been easy in this test match for South Africa.
It's a different sort of scenario, this, because of what they've been hit with, have not been able to respond sufficiently in this test match. Gone! Steyn flirting with one outside off stump, and it's a comfortable catch and slip. 9 down.
Ryan Harris gets his man, so he gets in on the act. He's been consistent during the test match. He's been a good foil for Mitchell Johnson, and Michael Clarke has got an excellent pair of hands in the slips.
The only plus here is that he hasn't been hit on those fingers of his, Dale Steyn. He can come back and fight again another day.
Morne Morkel. 54 test matches. Got an horrible delivery in the first innings. Yeah, it was short like that, but it was from Mitchell Johnson round the wicket.
Yeah, it was a lot straighter, that's for sure.
Come on then, Kipler.
Yeah, the thing is that the threat they're facing this time is more formidable than they have in the past. So what really has to happen is that each player individually have to go away and try and find a way of coping with what they're going to face in the second test match. So they've had a look at the situation. They know what they have to try and do, and let's hope they can.
He's gone for the big one. He's gone all the way onto the embankment. Vernon Philander with a 6.
Beautifully struck. Vernon Philander got into position quickly and timed his hook shot to perfection.
Hit that well. Just before that delivery, we had a picture of Michael Clark putting his hands under his chin. I'm not too sure what that signal was as far as Australia are concerned, but the West Indies, it would be chin music.
This time finds the man. I reckon he was saying to the spectators who were barracking him that keep your chin up because it's his team that are winning. 189 for 9. Shot. A beauty for 4.
His batting's got better and better, Vernon Philander, over the last few test matches. He's always had ability that the bat struggled a little bit when he first started, but he's made some useful contributions for South Africa of late.
That's a good shot. On the up this time and through the covers again. And same result, 4 runs. Beautiful shot.
On the up as well, so beautifully timed.
Change now from Ryan Harris. Ryan Harris electing to go around the wicket.
Gone for it this time, and he's got it in the gap. Superb fielding. Oh, is that down there, Rogers?
It's been a feature of Australia's performance, their desperation and quality in the field, and that's just another example of it, right through to the end. Chris Rogers.
Yeah, the third umpire just having a look to make sure that it's only a single. He's well inside the boundary. And that's good work. Philander is off strike, so that gives Harris a chance to bowl at Morne Morkel.
.200 out. Oh dear, oh no! Where is he going? Where is he going? He's run himself out. Morne Morkel. Absolutely not a second there. It's victory for Australia.
Well, if this is out, I guess that just about sums it up.
Morne Morkel walks off dejected, but it's Australia we must focus on. Apart from session number 1 on day 1, where they went into lunch 77 for 3, having been put into bat with their skipper having said he'd have batted anyway. Those who are watching would probably have scored it even as a session with the 3 wickets having gone down, but other than that, it's been all Australia. They've been assertive, once getting the upper hand from that 233 partnership in the first innings. And Mitchell Johnson came to the fore and he's made sure that South Africa couldn't come back. This is the end, then. Way short.
Why would he want to be thinking of a second run there, Morne Morkel? Could see that Vernon Philander was quite happy to just jog a single. Well, started reasonably well, ended on a bad note though.
Brilliant performance by Australia, continuing the good form they showed in the Ashes series recently, winning away from home. Never easy to beat South Africa in South Africa, particularly at SuperSport Park. It'll be disappointment from a South African point of view. They've got a lot of thinking to do before the second test match in Port Elizabeth. They've come back from this sort of situation before, so they've got 4 days in which to turn this around.
That's the man who's done the damage, Mitchell Johnson. Australia win by 281 runs It's the second highest loss in terms of runs by South Africa against Australia. I said before, the statement made by the Aussies, and it's over to the South African camp to respond. What can they come back with in Port Elizabeth? Can they sort out the little matter of Mitchell Johnson? They'll shake hands, congratulate those who've done well. South Africa graciously will say, well played and well done, and look their opponents in the eye. They've got to look them in the eye so that they know they'll be back another day to fight once again and try and have one over them that time. This time though, it's the Aussies celebrating. There's a man who will take a lot of credit from what's gone on. Darren Lehman, since he's turned up in this side as the coach, has led them well. He's seemingly turned things around, and it's looked very much like a happier camp, and that's shown on the field as well.
Will be the third KFC T20 international between the Blue Rainbow Scorpions and Australia.
So something to be done in the South African camp as far as selections are concerned, and as far as technique and strategy is concerned as well. So there's the South African second innings. AB de Villiers, very, very good once again. Played beautifully in the first innings, backed it up with another good performance. But other than that, not too much forthcoming.
Look at the partnerships, and there aren't too many to speak of. Whilst Hashim Amla and Faf du Plessis were going, they'd have had thought South Africa of a rear guard, of staving off defeat. Faf got a, well, one he didn't want to get, much like the first innings, a horrible delivery. Then Amla and de Villiers went a little bit, but it wasn't enough. Just 200 in the end. A look at the Australian bowlers, Mikey, and there's one man who everybody will look at.
Yes, Mitchell Johnson, 5 for 59 in this second innings. What Australia will be very happy about is the fact that although they have bowled twice in such a short period of time, they haven't bowled a lot of overs. 61.1 overs is how long South Africa lasted in the first innings. In the second innings, just 59.4 overs. So just about 120 overs bowled, and they have 4 days before the next test match.
Graham, that was a pretty tough test. You guys were hit pretty hard. How do you reflect on it?
Obviously, initially, it's obviously very disappointing. I think we've been outplayed from word go. So credit to Michael and the Australian team for their performance. Probably one of the most disappointing 4 days we've had as a team for a very long time, and we didn't quite meet our own expectations and the public's expectations. So the next few days are important for us to reflect and hopefully train hard and perform a lot better.
I know this time around with such a series, you put a lot of time into preparation, a match was organised, but again, a slow start. I mean, can you put your finger on this at all?
No, I mean, it was just seemed to be one of those games, bowlers picking up niggles, food poisoning, so on, and it seemed to set us back. At 100 for 4 in the first innings, I thought we had a great opportunity. I think credit to Mitchell Johnson, he really bowled with huge intensity. I thought the surface obviously suited his style of bowling and extracted every little bit out of it and put us under a lot of pressure. So, no excuses from our side. We've just got to front up, man up. Unfortunately, we were very much outplayed.
And I know you'll be thinking a lot about the batting side of things, but you won't have to look too far. AB de Villiers, he was superb.
Yeah, he has been for a very long time, and again showed tremendous skill in what was a difficult wicket to bat on. And yeah, I mean, credit to him. I think all of us as a batting unit have performed well for a long period of time, and we've just got to, think back to those moments. We've had a lot of success against these bowlers also. So, hopefully we move to PE and we can perform a lot better.
That is just about the perfect start to a tough series, a high-profile series.
Obviously, winning is always the best start you can have. I think it was a great example of how tough a team South Africa are. They've got a lot of experience. I credit to the Australian bowlers and also the batters that stood up. I think for a few of the guys to make hundreds, and I think Alex Doolan on debut played an amazing innings in that second dig. And our bowlers did a fantastic job led by Mitchell Johnson. But I think we knew coming here how tough a team South Africa were, and you certainly felt that on the field, especially as a batsman.
Mitchell, congratulations. That's really put down a marker. Why did you bowl so well in these conditions at Supersport Park?
Thanks. I don't know what it was. I think that, we obviously set the game up with our batters early on, and I just thought we bowled really well as a team again. We sort of backed that up from the summer back in Australia, and we've been able to do that here. We felt like there was just something a little bit in this wicket, enough there. We obviously saw Mornay get a bit more bounce, and we just thought that there was something there for us. So I guess when plans come off, it's really nice. And like I said, the boys just bowled really well.
I read some comments from you coming into this series. How pumped up were you for this first Test match?
Yeah, very nervous, very pumped up. Obviously coming up against the world #1 Test team, and there was a lot riding on it this series, and never played a Test match here, so we're all very excited and to come out here and to do what we did. It's very good to go 1-0 up. When you come up against a team on their home turf, it's always tougher, and to have a win like that, it makes you very happy. So we want to just keep that form going.
You're consistent in Australia. You've started brilliantly here in South Africa. Mitchell, congratulations.
Thanks, Mike. Cheers.
Terrific stuff. Man of the match, Mitchell Johnson. 12, I'll repeat that, 12 wickets for 127. Outstanding stuff. Thank you, gentlemen. That concludes the presentation.
Short extra cover.